Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 135 of the Blrd podcast. As always, we have Bandito Mac.
What's up?
Green Tuner.
Hello.
Dark Side.
Yo.
And myself, the best in the world, Creamcast. The main character. Main character vibes all day. The father of the Ed Underground, Creamcast.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys doing today?
I'm
doing real good. Real
doing
good.
Doing well.
Well,
Great.
not just doing good. You're doing well and great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Superman does good.
Superman does
Sorry.
good.
What the oh my god.
We do well.
We do well.
Sorry.
English
Black girl
professor
tag.
over here.
Yeah,
Black girl
right.
had
Excuse me.
threw me off. They don't become Ed.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you,
It's not good that Superman does good.
No, you don't do good.
Yeah,
You do well.
You trying to educate you guys. I'm sorry.
yeah, you're on the
Yeah.
wrong podcast. But
Right.
Clearly.
we're missing our
education
key English major, but you're on the wrong podcast. But
Yeah. Black Girl Sack, thank you for joining us. Says, oh my god, don't become Ed. Yeah, Ed is like a venereal disease. Like you catch it and there's treatments for it, but sometimes you know what, you'd be like, I can live with this. That's how I look at it. But no. There's only one underground, and that is Ed, still underground, still hiding to this day. Unfortunately, Ed Underground will not be with us tonight.
Underground, closeted. I mean, there's many ways to say it.
Yeah. You know, hey, we're very inclusive here, so Ed, don't be ashamed.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed. We always accept you as you are. Please come back to us. We dearly miss you.
I'm not sure if is there a term for that when you come from the underground? Just coming out of the underground.
Well, that's first off, pause.
You coming hard from the underground?
Yeah,
or just kind of
too,
gently coming from the underground.
there's too many comes in that sentence, and
coming from the underground, coming from out of the closet, it's all the same thing.
Coming in the ground, coming from underground, coming in the closet.
We don't gotta label it. We don't label here.
We don't label it here.
Okay.
Ed does all things, and we're all cool with it. So
yeah. Hey,
whatever gets your freak on.
Yeah, exactly. We don't king shame here, and we don't shame at all. But like I said, very inclusive. Welcome to the Blrd podcast, all people. So, yeah. So, what you guys been up to this past week? Anything exciting going on in your guys' lives?
Yeah, we had the DNC here in Chicago. So it's been fun.
Okay, did you go to that? You went? Like you were at the event?
I went, well, I got pretty close. I went downtown, and we went to taping of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Yeah.
Very cool.
So, yeah, it was very cool. We got to see it live, and it was cool to see it. Like, we had to wait for the DNC to finish, and then 'cause it ran late.
Yes, it did run late.
It ran late, and that show's live. So we had to wait for it to finich. Then we had to wait for like local channels to have their news, and then he went live. So I think he went live at like 11:30 or something.
Where are you guys at? Are you guys like waiting in the venue inside of the?
Yeah, so it was in the Chicago Auditorium. So they let us in at like 7:00. There was a long line. They said you could start lining up at 6:00. So we were downtown from like 3:00, and we're like, all right, we start walking over there. And there was this long ass line wrapped around this building. I was like, no, these people have been lining up an hour before. So I started getting a little nervous, like, we're not gonna get in. What the fuck? But no, we stayed in line for like a good while, and then I'm looking across the street in like what is that park? It's pretty much the same park area that the Bean and the Millennium Park.
Millennium Park.
Oh, yep.
There's another line across the street that is long as hell. I'm like going like, what? Is there another event happening adjacent to our event?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, an hour later, halfway through the line, I found out that that was the standby line for the line I'm in.
Oh
For the
shit!
people
Wow.
who didn't
Yeah.
get tickets, they're just waiting for standby to get in the like for whoever doesn't, because they want a packed house.
Right.
I see.
So, anyways, we got in at like 7:30, and they had, because it's a CBS production, right? So they had the DNC playing on all the screens.
Mhm.
So we watched the entire DNC with that whole audience. So I was in there for like what 3 hours watching the fucking DNC, watching Joe Biden speak,
Wow.
live reacting with everyone, and then it was really cool. Then they have all these warm-ups, they have the band, then Stephen Colbert
Yeah.
comes out and he does a little Q&A, and he tells you how to react to the show, and like it's a live show and you're in front of millions and what you have to do. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But man, that man is a professional, dude. Like I was watching it going like I was waiting for a single snag. This is the first show in like he normally does it out of what, New York City, I believe. Yeah, he does it out of
Yeah,
New York City.
Yes.
So I'm like, this is his first show in a new place, and I was like,
Right.
okay, there's probably going to be a little bit of a snag, right? Or just something, you know what I mean? No,
Yeah.
man, that is a seamless operation live, and he
Yeah.
is like a professional. Everything in one
Oh,
take.
well, I'm sure like they rehearsed a lot too, for sure.
No, there was no rehearsal.
But no.
I mean, before you guys got there, right? I would assume so.
Possibly, maybe hours before, but I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I don't
also
think
he's
so.
been doing this. He's been doing this for years. So I mean,
Yeah, that's the way.
it's probably a very well-oiled
For
operation.
sure. It has to be.
That's the feel I got. Like he is, like he nails everything, and he knows where everything is gonna be. Like he was giving, like he knew exactly where to stand. Obviously, he knows all this stuff,
Mhm.
but yeah, no. When the show was on, he like when we were broke for commercials, you could see like everyone, like 50 people running on the stage,
Mhm.
and like do stuff, and like so it was cool. Yeah, it was cool, and I got to see Hillary Clinton live.
Yeah.
I got to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She was
Mhm.
another guest. And yeah, it was pretty fun. It was like a unique experience. So I had a great
No, it sounds
time.
amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
I
sounds
see.
great.
You know, I was a little confused at first because I was thinking like this was a separate show that just happened to be near the DNC, or this was like a show that performed at the DNC.
Yeah,
Or
look, so
yeah.
it's his regular show he does, but he
Mhm.
did it in Chicago. So it's like
I got it. Yeah.
every segment he has is Chicago themed, and like so
Okay.
and the auditorium is like really
I remember
nice.
similar.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that sounds really dope though. Yeah, because at first I'm like, oh, did you guys know that you would just happen to be there, and then like, oh shit, the DNC's happening right now too, and then like all this stuff. Okay, I'm like, that sounds correct. I'm thinking you guys were just going through some wild ass experience, and then Colbert happened to be there as well.
Happened to be there,
Like,
and
yeah, that's
Nah.
pretty cool though. That
Yeah,
sounds really
no,
dope.
it was very fun. Very
My
fun for sure.
my weekend my week has not been as exciting. Just
Oh yeah,
working
we
mainly.
have hold on, really
Oh
really quick. We have a question for Dark Side. Was there
yeah,
food and drinks while you were
yeah.
At the theater?
at the theater? Yeah, because you were waiting what
Oh, see,
like 4 hours, right?
Mhm.
yeah, 4 hours. Yeah. There is food and drinks, and then like when the show starts, they are very like clear that you're not supposed to have any food when the taping is happening. So
Really?
they like meticulously went through the audience to like make sure your food and drinks were taken care of. So, but there's like a basic concession stand when the DNC was happening. So yeah, I was curious
Yeah.
about that too. I was like, I'm gonna sit here for like 4 hours without anything. Like, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, there was like basic stuff.
Were you allowed to like move around freely? Just like kind of
Yeah,
get up
before the
or-
show, you could go anywhere. And I think during the show, nobody really said you couldn't. But nobody did. So, but,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
packed house. It's a crazy theater. Like it's like
Yeah.
4 balconies, insane. And like if you watch his live, like on YouTube, just watch his clips. He
Mhm.
makes a point in the monologue to point out how crazy the highest balcony is, and the people we were on the second balcony.
Mhm.
And there's like 4 balconies. There's like a level. It's insane. And he has a camera looking down at him.
Mhm.
And that's the part of the joke where he's like, you know, like show me the 4th balcony cam and like it's a tiny little person, like is like, hey, enjoy the show.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's
I'm
pretty
just thinking now, like the security just had to be crazy, just based on prior events what just happened. So
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean, I hand it to Chicago, the city of
mhm,
Chicago. There were cops everywhere,
yeah,
and it was a good day. The day we went,
mhm.
obviously school's back in session, thank God. So
Some
it
parts
was
not over here yet, but yeah,
yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
guess in the city because it was like there were no kids and not a lot of tourists either. Beautiful warm day.
yeah.
Everything's running like really well. Cops everywhere. It felt super like it was probably the best time to go to the city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, to
Yeah.
be fair, I mean, it is summertime. No, at end of
Mhm,
summertime, kids are
mhm.
going back to school, so
Yep.
I'm not surprised that you didn't have a huge crowd at Chicago. Now the thing is, like, so I've been interested in going to like a live taping of the show, and I think
Mm,
this is
Mhm.
like there you can get tickets, right? And there's
mhm.
a certain amount of tickets per show that they sell, and if they don't sell out, they have the standby line. Now, the standby
Yeah.
line, how many people do you estimate were in the standby line, and how many people do you estimate actually got in?
I I'm not sure if this is true, but I think on stage they said the capacity for the theater was 4,000.
Hmm.
And I think that I don't know exactly because our line was packed and that standby line was I want to say twice the size of the main line.
Jeez.
So I want to say maybe a couple hundred, but I think a lot of people were there. And you know what? And people took it seriously. Like they sent out an email and said like, hey, dress like you're going to be on TV, so dress like don't dress like a schlub, basically.
Right.
No, try to dress up a little bit. So I like skirted that a little bit. Like, I mean, they said no athletic shorts and t-shirts, so I was like, well, it's hot. I'm gonna wear shorts. Instantly regretted it because that theater's cold.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, but a lot of people. What I'm saying, a lot of people are dressed up, so people intended to go, and you don't get the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't travel. Like, the show doesn't travel a lot. It's always in
Yeah.
New York. I think people who wanted to go were there. It's a good question, but I don't know. I don't think a lot of people got in. But he's doing 4 days this week, so
Nice.
it's happening as we speak right now. I think it's going to be live, so we'll see. And they still haven't announced the Thursday night guest, and people were speculating it's like either Obama or it's Kamala Harris. Could be
I mean,
Kamala Harris. Who knows?
hey,
Yeah,
you're in the Obama hometown, so
yeah, yeah.
I mean that would make sense. I've been listening a little bit to the DNC, and it's been
Mm.
pretty. It's been the actually. I'm not gonna lie, the DNC has been pretty good.
DNC is surprisingly watchable. I'm
Is
usually I yeah, they seem to understand that they got to make it a little entertaining for people, and
yeah.
surprisingly they've found some kind of formula where it's like kind of watchable.
Yeah, I watched Bill
Really.
Clinton. Yeah, I watched Bill Clinton today, and his his speech was a little long. I feel like it's a little winded, but it was good.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, uh, I listened to what's his name, Hakeem
Jeffries.
Jeffries. His was
Yeah.
good. I'm not gonna lie. I think every single one, every single person I've heard, Michelle Obama, Barack last night, everybody's been good. Everybody has been really well received, I think. So I'm surprised, because I think past DNCs have been a little boring. They've been not as entertaining as previous RNCs have, especially with Trump in there. So I think they realized that they got to put a little showmanship into it. Like, yeah, let's have some pizzazz. So that with the Colbert Show, I think that's pretty awesome. So I'm glad that you had a good time. How many tickets did you get, by the way? Did you just get? Did you were able to get like two, three, four? How many?
I think we just got two. Like, I
Two.
mean,
Okay.
I think there was a cap on how many people could go.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was gonna
yeah,
ask. I was like, are there caps to these tickets and how many you can get? Because that would be kind of awesome.
I think you had to enter a raffle and like it was a raffle win. So you had to enter a raffle in like
Gotcha.
June, and then it's one ticket and then one other person. So
I'm trying to get
yeah, it was
tickets for
very
the.
fun. Very
I'm
fun.
trying to get some tickets for the damn World Cup right now.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because the World Cup
yeah.
is in Chicago. I think this
Oh
next World Cup was it 2026? I
Yeah,
forgot
it's
when.
coming
Yeah,
up.
2026.
Coming up.
I think it's Chicago, and I think there's one in New
It's
York,
mostly
and I
it's a
think
lot of California to
California.
Texas.
Yeah, there's 4
Yeah,
locations that.
there's a couple. Yeah, the stadiums are all online there. You can get them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't think Chicago was on there. Is it on there?
I thought it
But
was.
it would make sense, but I thought I didn't see it for the World Cup as a venue.
Yeah, I thought they weren't in there because they said the
Yeah.
stadium wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to accommodate.
yeah, because I remember that
Um,
because they wanted the super
if they
stadium.
changed
Super
it, that's
Sams, yeah.
great. Because I'm like,
Yeah,
damn,
because the
I knew
audience is here.
the
I don't
Yeah, the
know
audience
where
audience
is
is
they're
here.
here.
from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I knew
Yeah,
California. I knew somewhere in Texas. I didn't know where else.
yeah.
So, but you had to enter a raffle. Well, I entered now, and then they're supposed to do a raffle later on. So I'm trying
All
to
right,
take.
I'll have to enter it too. Because I
Yeah,
mean, that's opportunity. Because it's gonna
how often?
be
Yeah, it doesn't come to the United
Yeah.
States.
you're
And the
never gonna
fact,
get it again.
yeah.
U.S. Yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
So
like,
immediately you can scalp them, right? Just
I mean
immediately scalp 'em.
that
you can
and
instantly scalp them. Yeah,
we got that, and I know we
Mm.
didn't talk about it, but the next Summer Olympics is in Los Angeles, right? So
hmm
that's going to be coming up too. So we got like a twofer.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
we
right.
we
Yeah, I
do.
forgot
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
so we got a
we
lot of
got to
events
take
coming.
advantage. That's like a once in a lifetime. Like
That really is a once in a lifetime. We probably won't see this
yeah,
shit for another like 40 years. So
yeah,
I
for sure. I'm gonna try.
yeah, so yeah, you guys, if you guys want to watch some World Cup, please enter so that we can be able to get some tickets because yeah, I would love to go. I definitely
Oh
want
yeah,
to
hell yeah,
take. I'm gonna try to take my dad to go. So we'll see what
yeah.
happens. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, cool stuff, man. Bandito, I know you were about to say something about some stuff you were what
Oh,
you've been up to.
it don't even matter. It was boring.
Oh,
I just looked up when the last time the Olympics were here. It was
yeah,
2002. So not
exactly.
too long ago, about 20 years.
20 years. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
still a long time. Like
it's still a long time.
we'll be in our 50s and 60s and shit. like I'd rather do the Olympics, as a younger man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Was
think
that
that's
was that summer or we
Uh,
get we have a lot of winter games. We get a lot
we
of
get
winter
winter.
games.
Yes, winter games we do get.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Summer games. What was the last one we had for summer? Was it
let's see.
I
I
would say
know
some
I know
either
Los Angeles
90s,
had it before. Where was the
Mm.
one that had the bomb? That was Los Angeles, right?
Los Angeles. Yeah,
In
I
the
think that was in the
90s.
90s. Yeah,
Yeah,
The
that was in
bomb?
the 90s.
What
96
happened?
didn't. No, 96 was something else. Yeah, there
uh,
was
s-
last time we all hosted summer games in Los Angeles. There was that bomb that went off.
yes.
And they made
Oh, that
that.
was
What's
was
the
that Atlanta? I think that was Atlanta.
Was it? Oh yeah, it was
Yeah, it was
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah, Atlanta bombing. Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
I don't even remember
The
that.
last one was in '96 in Atlanta, Georgia. Yep.
Okay. All
And the
right.
next one is gonna be 2028 in Los Angeles.
Dude,
Yeah.
96. Yeah, so it is a once in a
Yeah.
lifetime, pretty much. So,
Yeah.
Did they determine if breaking was coming back? Did they say
break.
whether or not?
I believe they've confirmed the
Damn.
breaking will
Re-
not return.
Oh
Well,
no, really?
after
Yeah,
Oh,
after
unfortunately.
the huge
Ray gun,
controversy
yeah.
ray gun,
from
baby.
from down under,
You
Yeah.
know.
and with her and her husband.
Yep.
Mm,
I didn't know that the you could you can create your own like well Australia created a subcommittee and
yeah.
Reagan or Reagan, however you pronounce it, is her
Mm,
husband is like one of
okay.
the leaders in the committee that
Ooh.
got her in, and obviously you saw she got 0 points, absolute
Yeah.
dog shit,
Yeah.
breaking,
Dude, she
but
had some fucking sick
Oh my
moves,
She
man.
goodness.
was robbed.
Yeah.
She was
The
robbed,
little
man.
bunny hop she
Fucking
did.
robbed.
yeah,
That was
Yeah.
like
I
The
was
thing is,
like,
like everyone remembers her.
the
Everyone remembers her.
stapler.
Like,
yeah,
do you guys
Mhm.
know
Come on,
who got
man.
gold?
You know you can't do the
You know what?
stapler.
You know
Do
what?
you guys know who got gold? Who got silver? Huh?
Nobody
I don't
knows who
know.
the fuck got gold.
Exactly.
Everyone knows who
I'm saying.
fucking Ray gun is, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, she put
Everyone
it on
Yeah,
the
knows.
map.
everybody knows who
Honestly,
Reagan
So
is. Everyone
you
else would
tell
like
us
disappear
come on.
into nothing.
I'm just
Exactly.
saying she
Who's
put
the
it on the
real
map.
winner?
she
Yeah.
did.
Hey,
I
she did absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't know
Go ahead.
Australia had such sick breakdancers, but
Yeah.
she is true hip hop. I'm like them B boys back in the day in
Mhm.
like and
Mhm.
in Los Angeles and Compton and all that.
Mhm.
They ain't shit. They just needed
Nope.
some
Clearly.
moves from Reagan. That's all they needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Yeah, do the
tastemakers
Ray
have
gun
spoken.
moves.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. That was
That's
horrible.
wild, man. Yeah,
Um,
but no, and
Yeah.
I'm sad that it doesn't get another chance because that's kind of a bummer. I mean, it's bummer if she is the cause because I'm like, come on, are they really saying no?
So
Just because of her
the way it
performance?
the way it works is the
Right.
host country, whatever the host country is,
Yeah.
there's always a sport they add that represents that host country. And for
Okay.
some reason, even
Yeah.
though I'm pretty sure we invented breakdancing, for
Mhm.
some reason, Paris got
Paris?
breakdancing.
Well,
I don't know the ins
Yeah.
and
They
outs
have,
of this.
It gets
but
like voted in or something, right?
no,
Yeah, it gets
but Paris does
something like
have
that.
Paris does have a very huge breakdancing scene out there. So
Okay.
I mean, it makes
Yeah, don't they
sense.
host all those Red Bull dance things over there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
was it like Worlds something movement? Yeah, there's different events over there,
Look,
and
the only thing
Yeah.
that matters is the USA took gold as it should, so I don't really give a shit. Whatever the
Canada took
sport
gold.
is. What? We didn't take. I
No,
mean,
Canada got gold. We got bronze, bitch.
hey, I'm also Canadian, so you know what? I'm cool with that. Who got silver? Was at least Paris got silver or France?
Japan.
France.
France? That was
France got
Japan.
silver.
Okay,
France?
I was
Okay,
gonna
my bad.
say
France.
if you freaking add
Well,
a
for
sport,
men,
no,
I
France.
guess.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I'm
was
looking at the
Canada.
little
Yeah, Canada, France,
Google.
and then the United States.
that's
Okay.
sad. And I'm pretty sure we invented
That's for the men.
breakdancing.
That's
Am
for
I
the
wrong about
men's.
this?
For
Yeah, but
women,
I mean,
it
who
was
watches
Japan.
that and is like who watches the Olympics breakdancing and is impressed when literally maybe you watched again Red Bull videos from like 2 years ago and there's people
Yeah.
like jumping and landing on like one toe and spinning around and then
Yeah.
doing like a half moonsault and shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
you want
So
to
what
see
the
the best of the
hell?
best, and this seemed
Yeah,
like
and
can I-
they
can I
didn't
be-
go to the Olympics. I
can
can
I
tell
be
you
hon-
that.
yeah.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I'd be very honest with everyone here. If you put Ray Gun next to the gold medalist performance, I
Mhm.
don't think I could tell that much of a difference.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
one of them stayed on their head a little bit longer, but
Uh-huh.
I mean, the way people were talking shit about Ray Gun, I mean, I'm a fat 40-year-old man. I could not do. She defied gravity for me. So
Mhm.
fucking
Yeah, with the bunny hops, sure.
hey, she
Yeah.
got air on those bunny hops.
Right.
Yeah, she
All
got
right.
really-
mad.
Did
hey,
you
really-
see her do the worm? Did you see her do the worm?
No,
Wait, was
Okay.
that what she was
Yeah,
doing?
I didn't know that she was
I-
yeah,
doing.
she did the worm. I think.
Okay.
Worm or maggot or some
I must have
kind
done
of
it.
yeah.
Okay, really quick.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
so the men I said was Canada, France, and United States, in order
Yeah.
from gold to silver, or gold to bronze. Women was Japan, Lithuania, and China. So in the women category, United States we didn't even place, which is crazy.
This is like losing in
Yeah.
basketball. We should be ashamed.
Really, like we really should be ashamed.
Wow.
Like I have
Yeah.
never like
Or
that should be
baseball.
an easy layup.
Or baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Well, no, baseball in Japan. That's some serious shit over there. So
Yeah,
No,
Japan's
but
a contender for
that's
sure. No, actually,
that's American as apple pie,
no.
baby.
Well, I mean,
Nah, baseball.
Dominican Republic and Cuba would
Yes.
probably like all our players are fucking.
No, I know they're
Dominican.
from there. I'm just saying in
Yeah.
the sense of who invented it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
US invented baseball.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we
obviously
also
you're right. Yeah,
we also
like
invented
all the
democracy.
talent comes from outside the country.
Right.
We also
What
invented
was that?
democracy.
Creamcast? What was that?
Democracy,
Yeah.
baby.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
That's what we invented. So therefore,
right.
I mean,
That's
I mean,
right.
we automatically win, bitch.
Yeah.
America.
That's true.
We should just put eagle sound. That's America, baby. We invented
Yeah, there
everything.
you go.
So,
I mean, don't we always win?
No,
in the
we
World,
don't
in the
invade.
World
We
Series in baseball, right?
liberate.
yeah, we always win the
Everything.
World Series in baseball.
Yeah.
we are
right.
world
I don't
champions.
know if
the
that's
World
true.
Series that we host
Yeah,
with
right.
American teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We're the
Yeah,
best.
we're the best.
Yeah,
baby.
what do you guys think is going to be the American like when we do it in Los Angeles? What do you think the sport? I'm thinking pickleball.
curious.
It's time for pickleball, baby. Like
Honestly,
I mean,
I would say, well, these like the thing is, it's hard to do sports that we
Wait,
probably
you
would
only get
win.
to choose one sport?
Yes,
Yeah,
you only
how
get to
do
pick
they
one.
submit? I want to know how they.
I
how we get
mean,
the
like
for that.
It's gonna
we
be something
basically
stupid. It's gonna be some
we've-
kind of e-sport. I'm telling you, it's gonna be some kind of stupid
oh,
e-sport.
Oh,
thing
that would
Hey,
be
up
dope.
there.
That would
Yeah.
be dope.
I hear you. I bet it
esport
probably.
like gaming. That
Yes.
would
Yeah.
be cool.
It would
But
be
but the
Oh,
thing is, we will
Lord.
automatically lose
I think that's
because
come up a couple times.
China would smoke us in
Yeah.
every when it comes to esports.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
category, China would smoke us.
You think so? I mean, it depends on
FPS?
the game, right? FPS,
Depends.
even.
Well, yes, FPS they will destroy us. League
Yeah.
of Legends,
okay, I
we're
was
done.
just- they do esports, but only fighting games. And
they did
we
fighting
get
games.
just a bunch
Fighting
of what's that Fox guy that wins at everything? I forgot
Sonic
his name.
Fox.
Or sorry, not
Oh.
his their name or whatever it is.
Yeah, Sonic
Sonic
Fox.
Fox. Yeah, we just get a
Mhm.
bunch of those. Bam.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I would watch that because
Yeah.
I do watch fighting game tournaments.
That would
But
like Dragon Ball
yeah.
Z Fighters or Marvel vs. Capcom. That would be
Yeah, it would
pretty
depend on
good.
what game it would be. Yeah.
Oh well,
It'd
yeah.
be really
Watch.
interesting to see.
Well, the thing it'll be like Killer Instinct, and then Ed, watch Ed become a gold Olympian in Killer
Yeah.
Instinct. He would never
That
let
would
us
be
live that
so
down.
hilarious.
Ed's gonna get the ray gun treatment.
Right.
Ed
It-
gets gold in a tournament of one when
Yeah.
they're doing the Killer Instinct tournament.
Yeah.
Like
No,
how
that
many
is-
players did he say he was boasting? Like 40 concurrent viewers. Oh my goodness.
Shit. Like yeah, that would people would really literally think that the Killer Instinct tournament of the Olympics, they're like, is this just an ad? Like this is a long ass like is this like an ad for Arby's or something? Or for deodorant or something else? Because yeah, I feel like most Killer Instinct players just sit in their mom's basement, smelling Cheetos and defecation and keep talking about Killer Instinct 2 is coming out next week. You're the
Hell
Xbox.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is
what
what
are
it is.
Americans best at? Gaming genre.
In gaming?
I
Yeah.
have a dark joke, but I'm not gonna say it.
A dark joke.
A very
I
dark
mean, we
joke.
could-
Lord, no. Yeah, obviously. But I'm saying, like,
We
Oh.
got to be the best at Madden, right? I mean, like if they were like Madden or 2K, maybe, right? I get
Maybe,
I don't
yeah.
think 2K. Man.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll say
Madden.
Madden.
that's not like
Madden.
an
Madden.
international. That's more like a regional game. You know what I mean?
Okay, I was gonna say FIFA, but we're probably not the best at FIFA.
Yeah,
No,
I doubt
no,
I doubt
no. Brazil or
Nice.
somebody else
Yeah.
will absolutely smoke us.
Yeah.
they will.
So yeah, we would not be the
Um,
best in FIFA.
No, I don't know.
I would say
knows?
like Counter Strike, right? FPS, but even that's like all like Netherlands and freaking
Yeah, there's some good European teams.
Germany
for sure.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's really good
Yeah.
European teams, and also
Yeah.
Asian teams on that. So yeah, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Counter Strike is not like an easy sweep for us.
Right.
So
Like any sort of FPS game, no sort of like MOBA I can think of, right?
Yeah,
I don't think
MOBA is
any
like Koreans, right? It's like
yeah, that's
some
Koreans.
of
Yeah,
the Asian countries for sure.
yeah, like they will absolutely smoke us.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any one genre that like America could say they're dominant in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be Madden for sure.
Madden,
on Xbox.
yeah. And you know,
Madden on
I feel like
Xbox.
they might play Madden. I feel like they play Madden in Japan, maybe in China.
They better not. They
I'm
hopefully
pretty
they have.
sure that they would.
they haven't
Look, for as
achieved-
much as all that, they do love American brands in China.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do.
Like a
yeah.
beer that's sold as like fancy American beer is it's like low end over here, but they
Coors?
sell it like as a fancy
beer over in
beer over
Japan.
there.
Yeah, in
Oh.
Japan and so forth.
Yeah. I forgot the brand,
Oh.
but if I told you, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. So let's talk about let's get on the topics for this week. I know we were shooting off of the hip, but let's get on task, guys. Tight 90 minutes. Tight.
90, okay.
Got it.
Tight
Sure.
90.
1,000%.
So all right, so one of the topics that I was gonna bring up was Wukong. What is it called?
Oh, yeah.
Black
Myth Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong is becoming a phenomenon in the gaming world right now.
Fiction.
It is getting a
Yeah.
lot of
Taking the gaming world
traction
by storm.
by
if you will.
storm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
It's a game made by Chinese developers.
Game
And
science.
yep, and they pretty much created a hybrid between it's a first person or a single player game that is set place with the monkey god Wukong. It is like I said, single player in between something of a God of War and a Sekiro. And right now on Steam, it is breaking records as the highest. I think at one point it was the second. Now I believe it's the highest single player game with the most concurrent players at one time right now. I think at somewhere of like 1.4 or 1.5 million players at the moment, which is a huge accomplishment in of itself. Chinese developers usually, when they produce their games, usually don't get a lot of love in the United States. I would compare it to like some deep Japanese games, like games that when they're ported over, don't really jive with American audiences. But China right now is doing very well, and I think overseas market overall, they're starting to produce some really, really. They've always have produced really good games, but less known developers are putting out really good games at the moment. So dope as always. But the big thing about this game and why I kind of want to talk about is why it's kind of blowing up, and at least for on the American audience, why it's blowing up.
Hell
Majority
yeah, brother.
yeah, majority of the players, as Bandito Mac had pointed out to us before the podcast, was a lot of the players are Chinese. I think he said somewhere what you said 80% or of the current player base.
Yeah, from what I saw, you guys have to look it up. But what I say about what the graphic I saw was about 80%, because it's like it's a big sensation over there. It's from what I've been reading.
It's based
doing numbers and it's doing well. Like it's got a lot of promotion and everything, and a lot of Chinese players were like super excited to get their hands on it. So
this is their culture, and
sure.
I think a lot of Chinese developers right now, they're putting out really beautiful games that people are not expecting to look so good on the current gen of consoles. But China's doing it. But for the American audience, there's a lot of hype about it because they say this is the antithesis of woke development in gaming.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So, the developers for Black Myth Wukong, at one point, they were being pressured into adding diversity into the games, and they said no. So
Well, they
now
should.
all the people who are anti Sweet Baby Inc. and so forth rejoice. This is
Wait,
your
wait,
this is your moment.
wait. Are you telling me the main character in this is not a strong female character?
No, it is actually a strong monkey. Very strong monkey. Brown skin monkey, I think.
What?
Is it a
Okay,
male?
all right. I was about to say,
Was
is
it
it
a female
white monkey?
No, it's a male. It is a male.
A male monkey?
It's a male monkey. It's
Gender
actually
fluid, though, I believe.
gender fluid. I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, the monkey can identify wherever it wants to. Okay, like
That's something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
They're trying to say that like the game is doing well because they didn't put pronouns in there. You know what?
Yeah.
Boom.
boom.
Big bucks.
Yeah,
Here it comes. Right.
Yep. They
Get your woke
Facts.
BS.
Yeah.
Get your
DEI.
DEI.
Yeah.
All that. Sorry, no brown people in there.
Out of here.
Yeah. DEI is
Uh-huh.
DED.
They're
Dead.
not forcing me to see a woman.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Yeah. What?
Exactly.
Ugh.
Facts
Get out of
don't
here.
care about
Patooey.
your feelings.
Disgusting.
Well,
Yes,
Disgusting.
exactly. But yeah, so Black Myth Wukong is doing very well overseas right now. And another big thing outside of the politics of inclusivity and diversification, the really cool thing that I kind of want to talk about is they asked if this game is going to come on Xbox. And at first, people were trying to say, "Oh, well, they just said not at this time. That we're not really focused on that." What the developer really said was, "Xbox is irrelevant to us. The Xbox is not relevant to us in our country, so we really don't care about it, and we are going to produce on a console that matters, which was
I mean,
PlayStation
does
and
anyone
PC."
on this podcast even play an Xbox? I don't think so, right? So
no,
does he-
I don't
do any
think
of
so.
us?
But we do
play
have
Xbox.
the number
Oh.
one Xbox fan here, which is Darkside,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
even
Oh,
he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
play.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yes,
Yeah,
But he doesn't even play.
Yeah,
So
it's bad
Yes.
news for Xbox.
No, but he is the
number one. Yeah.
Xbox number one fan of the group.
number one, yeah,
I run the Xbox blog on my time off. There's
Yes.
not a lot of information on it.
Yeah.
But that's such is the state of things. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
no, I mean, if Syed's saying it, that's what I'm going with. Like,
Yeah.
he's for sure. He knows all Xbox. So
yeah, he
Yeah.
knows
if
all
he's saying
Xbox.
it's no good, it's no good, man.
Yeah, I
So-
mean he called Phil Spencer and him, they're on like first name, like short name basis. He calls him Philly, you know what I'm saying? And they got that relationship. They're tight.
Boy.
Philly boy, P boy, and they'd be like,
P-boy.
hey, like they have such a great relationship. So,
yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
Darkside, how do you feel about that? As being the number one Xbox fan, and this is being the year of the Xbox, how do you feel about Black Myth Wukong pretty much dismissing Xbox and how its importance for China's market and gaming world in general?
You know, I think it's time to move on. You know, it's time for maybe it's not it's the year of the Xbox. We know that, all right? So you can have the Black Myth Wukong. You know what I mean? It's the year of the Xbox. The exclusives are coming. Eventually. You know,
You heard it here first.
we don't like
Hey.
to attach dates onto things. You know, decades. We'll
Yeah.
attach decades.
Decades, yeah.
Yeah. This is the decade, or maybe we're approaching the decade of the Xbox.
Yes.
But you know what? It is what it is. Look, I mean, we like to play loose here, so.
Yeah. Well, hey, you heard it here, heard it here first.
We released a game this year. What do you want from us?
Yeah. They released Senua's Hellblade, whatever. I mean, it was so good. I don't remember the name.
It was so good. It was so good that Ad Underground didn't even finish it. That's how good it was.
It's so
Wow.
good.
He didn't
guys.
need to.
He didn't need to. He didn't need to. It was
Oh
that
shit!
good. It was that good.
That good. He's like he's trying to savor the experience, so that's the reason why. He's like, oh, this is little morsels that he barely gets ever. So he's like, hey, I might not get another game for another decade.
You know what? Yeah, it's a decade, so you got to play it in short bursts. You know what I mean? You don't want to. You don't play that whole.
I savor it.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour experience, so you don't want to fucking blow that in one 4-hour shot. You know what I mean?
Come on, guys, you got to think with all that extra horsepower in the Xbox Series X. You got to think, guys. That's how it works for Xbox World. So, I thought that was kind of cool. Black Myth Wukong doing so well. I will buy it.
You planning on you gonna pick it up?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick it up. I usually don't buy games at full price, but if this game, just like with God of War Ragnarok, and God of War, I bought those day one. I think I'm gonna probably do this with this one. It seems like a really good game. I do like these type of games, so we'll see. I think I probably will pick it up, and hopefully I can give you guys a review sooner than later. So
yeah,
cool.
I was gonna grab it too, but I'm waiting until
It
I
might.
have time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a game that's going to be on sale like
quickly.
Very I feel like it's going to get over because a lot of people are playing it, right? So I think they'll hit that saturation point where they'll want as many users on it as possible. Now, is it so? It's a single player game. Is that
single player?
correct?
Yes. And the thing is, the great thing about this game is kind of old school. Like you guys remember back in the NES days and Super NES, when you got the game, that's it. You just got the game. There was no, we got potential DLC coming, and we're gonna put certain things behind microtransactions and this and the other. There's zero microtransactions. This is a complete game with right now no plans for DLC. So this is a complete game in of itself. And
no season 2? Are you saying no season 2?
Yeah, the Battle Pass.
No Battle Pass.
No Battle Pass, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No V-Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't even know what kind of game that would be. That sounds alien to me and scary, frankly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean it is. So but yeah, no, this is a dope game for sure. In other news, really quick, I'm trying to knock out the things I can remember off the top of my head. So Bandito, you will have to come in after this one. JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen, has recently announced that it will be wrapping up its manga run in 5 more chapters. That is a big deal in the manga Shonen Jump JJK world. Mainly because we just got off the cusp of My Hero Academia wrapping up pretty lacklusterly to the fans.
It's over? That's over?
It's over. My Hero Academia the manga is officially ended. And a lot of people, including myself, was like, I've invested years into this manga and I just literally got shitted on. It was one of the worst endings I think could have possibly have happened.
We'll talk about it. I'll when I finish it, we'll definitely have to talk about it.
Yeah, we could
So
talk about it for sure. But Jujutsu Kaisen, we are just now passing the climax of the final arc within Jujutsu Kaisen, and there are so many questions that are still lingering. Battles that we have not seen that we're assuming is being done off the pages that that Gege has not really drawn out or told us any clues about. We're really focused on the main battle with Sukuna and all the people from all the sources within JJK. So
Mm.
it is a crazy ride at the moment, and it was a big announcement. A lot of people, Shonen Jump and JJK, Gege had put out the announcement earlier this week. A lot of people were thinking that it was going to be like, oh, there's going to be a movie, or there was going to be maybe a spin-off series, maybe of previous era with Sukuna, but no, it was JJK is coming to an end. So by the end of September, JJK will be officially over.
Now
Um,
this is the manga, right? This is
yeah,
we're
this is
talking about
manga.
the manga.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
manga is wrapping up.
Manga. Mm.
Which is it's surprising. I'm actually I was shooketh when I heard this news because like I mean Bandito Mac, I know I think out of the
Yeah.
panel, you're the only person that reads the manga. Um
hmm
like right now this shit is getting deep. It's
Right.
getting dope as hell. And it's like I can't see it wrapping up succinctly within 5 chapters. I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't see it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm definitely sharing the same concerns. In a sense, yeah, like there are definitely a lot of loose plot threads, which I
Mhm.
know we're talking vaguely because we don't want to like spoil people who haven't read it yet. But
Mm.
uh, yeah, there's a lot of things that still are loose, like a lot of questions up in the air.
Mm.
Things that we're not sure how they'll be able to wrap them up as quickly as we want to.
Mhm.
But hopefully he's allowed a lot more pages because there were a couple of issues that were kind of like 12 pages sometimes,
Yeah,
and then a
yeah.
couple maybe around 20.
Mhm.
So it'll depend on how much he's working with, but hopefully we can get something satisfying and at least not as much of a bummer as we're hearing about My Hero, because I like it when a good story ends, because I
Now,
definitely enjoyed my ride. What's up?
now, is there a reason why it's such a quick? Has there been talk about why it's so abrupt?
No.
Um, I
Nobody
mean,
knows.
like nobody
Nobody
knows,
Yeah,
knows.
but
we're
like
not
I
sure.
mean, out there, I mean, I gotta ask the question now, and I don't want to be morbid about it, but is his health okay? Because we've lost a lot of uh, uh, mangakas, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Recently, and some of them have not been able to finish their, like, I'm terrified for Berserk. I mean, like, what I mean? It'll, it'll come to an end. But I've come to accept that it is what it is, good or
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
But who was Akira Toriyama died, you know what I mean?
Akira,
Like, so
yep.
like,
All
yeah,
right.
so it
Yeah.
feels like they're I don't want to say, like, it seems like a newer property. So is it a younger creator? Do you guys know?
No, Giga is middle age.
Oh,
I think
okay.
middle age, like I think is 40s, 40s or 50s.
Mhm.
Gege, no one knows. Well, Gege did take a break,
Yeah.
about a month ago, I believe, or maybe 2 months ago, for like 2 to 3 weeks, which had a lot of people worried, because
Mhm.
these mangakas are
Yeah,
slumped over.
yeah,
they're
yeah,
drawing, they're drawing like
yeah,
crazy, which is kind
yeah.
of a kind of a different, it's a different environment than comic book writers, right? Or comic book
Mm,
drawers, because comic books usually come out monthly, one thing
mm,
monthly, as opposed to weekly. And there's several differences I think between a lot of, especially older comic books to now. I feel like mangas have always, well, not always. There's mangas that are easy, like slice of life, very like just like everyday shit. When you have this, where it's like complex themes being thrown in,
mhm,
religion and so
mhm,
forth being interwoven through the story. So Gege did have some health issues. It seems like Gege is back. I
mm,
don't think this is a health issue thing. Gege is
mhm,
all about subverting expectations, right?
mhm, mhm,
In his writing, and he sticks to themes. He sticks to like Buddhist, like the whole manga is really based on religious themes. There's some Christianity in it, but mostly is Buddhism, and he sticks to that. He sticks to what he
mhm.
does best. So I think this is probably something that he just wanted to do. Like he honestly, from what I've gathered, is that this is the story that he wanted to write. And once the
Yeah.
story wraps up,
Mhm.
Gege doesn't seem like the type of person like that just arbitrarily continue the story just to fluff it. Like from each
Yeah.
arc, it's kind of deliberate. There's not a lot of
Mhm,
fluff in mangas in general. This is not like a
mhm,
one. well, even One Piece is not a lot of fluff. The manga itself. So that's the thing. It's like mangas are usually pretty concise. There might be some lull before the big battle or before a big arc, but I don't think that's the case. I don't know, Bandito, if
How
you feel
close?
differently.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't know if Bandito, you can answer that.
What? Oh no, I didn't have I didn't have much else to add to that. What were you gonna
Okay.
ask?
I was gonna ask, how is the anime like close to the where the manga is, or is it
Oh
years
no,
away
not
from
even close.
years away?
Yeah,
So
a few
do
years
you
away.
guys feel that they could like expand on like the ending and like based on feedback? Like
Yeah.
they've done this, like like Evangelion had the
Mhm.
ability, like
Mhm.
there have been like other properties, especially in the West, but in anime, I can reference a couple that have had the opportunity to expand on the story a little bit or
Sure.
come back and like
Mhm.
expand a little bit. Does Jujutsu Kaisen have like filler arcs and stuff like other, or is it
No.
pretty tight?
No,
No.
it's
Okay.
tight. Yeah.
Mm.
It's pretty
Wait,
concise, I would say. Yeah, like, and I don't know if I don't know. I doubt they would probably add more to it.
Mhm.
I don't think not unless it was very.
Is it a cash cow for them? Is it like
it's
I
a
don't. I don't think.
it's
You
a
think it's a
cash
cash cow? I
cow,
mean,
but
it
not
definitely got
huge.
popular for sure. Like one of their bigger titles. And it's not
Yeah.
like a cash cow like One Piece is a cash cow, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I think it could be coming to like its natural conclusion in a sense
Hey.
because I remember he did say that he had the ending in his head,
Yeah.
but he just wasn't sure exactly how to connect every piece to get there. So
Cool.
when a lot of authors are kind of like on the schedule, they will have like a loose outline of what they want to do, and then from there they kind of do their best to tie them up and connect them as much as they can, and then
Sure.
maybe they probably have also like a contract with Shonen Jump,
Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they kind of work with them.
Maybe as a banger ending, and he just knows he's gonna stick to the landing. I mean, that's
Yeah,
hey, you
I
don't
mean,
get
yeah,
that often. You know what I mean?
Well, Gege has put out some of these chapters, and Bandita knows what I'm talking about. There are some. One particular battle was the battle of the century within the JJK world, and the battle itself was absolutely amazing. And the result of that was it kind of subverts a lot of people's expectation from typical Shonen Jump. How I won't spoil too much, but it subverts a lot of expectations. And
Mm.
the battle thus far with the penultimate bad guy of this universe is not it goes exactly as you think it would to an extent if you think critically on it. And I think that's the thing about Gege is that you don't get what you want, you get what reality would dictate in real life.
Mm.
So I really enjoy that, but I think that you guys know I like the dark stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
totally.
know Green Tune is gonna go like, oh, yes, I get it. Like that's just
Everything needs to be dark and depressing.
yes,
Mhm.
but the thing is, that's life. Like, optimism, it doesn't get rewarded just because you showed up, right? And a lot of times you have to fight for it. And I like the realism of a lot of things, like movies and a lot of entertainment. I want the realism that
yeah,
I don't just want the good guys to win because this is a Disney series, right? Um, so yeah, that's how I kind of look at it. But
Mm.
yeah.
yeah,
Excited to
Cool.
see how it all wraps up for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about Disney series ending and the
Yeah.
expectation for that, hot news off the
Ooh,
block.
pouring
Mm.
Mm,
out,
Yeah,
pouring out for
the
our homies, man.
pouring out. I mean,
Mm.
we've been depressed. This panel right
Yeah.
here, we've
Oh
been
yeah,
depressed.
we were
Uh,
about to
Yeah.
cancel the show due to
Yeah.
yeah,
this
Oh,
news.
almost. Mm-hmm.
yeah. The
Mm.
Acolyte 2 has been officially canceled and will
Yeah,
not
season 2.
receive
Yeah.
season 2. Um, I mean, we all kind of expected this to an
Mhm.
extent,
Yeah.
and it was no surprise
Yeah.
to most people.
It's
It
unfortunate.
is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
This could have definitely spread out the Star Wars universe or expanded. Excuse me, the Star Wars universe, but the writing
Yeah.
just wasn't there, and
Not
Mm.
there. The viewers were not there,
yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah. And
these
the writing could have used some work, and yeah, they didn't hit it out of the park. I mean, it had a lot of things going against it, unfortunately,
Mhm. Mhm.
and which I feel like a lot of it was not its own fault. I mean, it has its own issues, right? Obviously, but then you also have the culture warrior movement, that whole brigade, of course.
Mhm. Fighting for the
Mhm.
soul of
Obviously,
Star Wars.
fighting for the soul of Star Wars.
Whatever
Yeah.
could you mean?
Yes. I mean, no one hates Star Wars, right? More than people who love Star Wars.
Love Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, the fans are its biggest haters.
So
Yeah.
that's actually deep though. No one hates it more than his fans, which is insane.
It's so true. Like, I mean, you can't have
It's the average movie goer doesn't care about like
right.
canon and like gender swap.
They're not gonna get
They don't
that
care. They're
big
just gonna go
about
see
it.
the fun space movie. That's all they're gonna go watch.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, and I feel like Acolyte definitely had. I feel like there was definitely an idea there, idea there that they could have cooked with. It sucks that they stumbled so much out of the gate, but I mean everything else just was no help to it, and so it was a little bit doomed from the start, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they fucked up when they castrated my boy Anakin. For sure.
I don't know why they did that.
Why?
They did. They
They
castrated
fucked
him.
up. They fucked up. Yeah.
He was
for
the
sure.
chosen one, guys.
He was.
yeah.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Only.
No,
you
exactly.
know what?
He was.
He
The
was.
chosen one.
Yeah, that's the
please.
legacy of the Acolyte. It's the
That's
fuck
true.
You.
You know what? It's still canon as far as I'm concerned. So
Oh, it is canon.
You know what I
It
mean?
is canon.
yeah,
it is
it is.
canon.
Wait, what's
Yeah.
canon?
No, it is canon.
Anakin
Yeah.
still canon or the Acolyte?
The Acolyte still canon.
Oh
Fuck
yeah,
Anakin.
absolutely. Okay. That's what I said.
Actually,
You know,
that's
the
canon,
the Force is female, guys, and I mean
Always
this is
was.
always was exactly.
This is George Lucas's original vision for Star Wars. Okay,
Right.
This
It
was
really was.
yeah.
All this time, all these people that were upset, you know, all these people were cheering for Anakin all this time didn't realize they were really cheering for female Jedis and the female Force. And what was it called? The stream?
Threads.
The threads. Like they didn't realize that the Force was the threads. So I mean
now we know that Anakin and his story was basically co-opted. Like we stolen. The story.
Colonized, you would say. It was colonized.
Colonized.
Right?
Yeah.
Anakin,
colonizer.
yeah.
Anakin
Anakin was literally stolen valor. He wasn't
There
the
you go.
one.
There you go.
Yes.
He wasn't.
When you think about it,
He wasn't. I mean, that's why he turned into Darth Vader. It all makes sense.
It makes sense.
So
yeah, when you link the thread, you see what I did
link
there?
it all together.
You link it all together, you get the true Star Wars. The true Star Wars. And
Thank you, Acolyte.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you. What was the lady's name? Leslie? The director? Thank you.
I don't know.
You know, let's thank the person that's actually, you know, doing all this positive stuff, Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen
I want
Kennedy.
to personally thank her, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Okay, yeah. Hey, remove the laser eyes. You are officially you are Star Wars Jesus, Kathleen Kennedy. Thank you.
You are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're exactly what the Force needed. I mean, like I said, we knew that the Acolyte was weak. It's bittersweet for me that they didn't finish it or they didn't expand upon it because I think it could have been slightly interesting, maybe with different writers. But you know, no love lost because our boy's about to come back. Andor season 2 is officially on its way. I think they said it should be out 2025, which will highlight more of why our main protagonist is who he is and why does he get such a big role in Rogue One, which I am looking forward to. I think for most of us here, Bandita, I know you weren't there necessarily initially for those initial conversations about Andor and how we felt about Rogue One. But I think we all agree, out of the new Star Wars movies, Rogue One is probably one of the better, if not the best, Star Wars movie out of the new ones. So I'm really looking forward to that. So while we got the cancellation, we did receive A New Hope. See what I did there? A New Hope.
Damn.
And I'm killing today.
I don't get it.
I'll explain to you later.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
too meta.
Yeah.
Too meta.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So, what other? I know we had another story that we want to talk about. Bandito
Uh,
or Dark Side.
Gamescom, very like Gamescom, like a quick jump around there, and like actually we should have talked about this when we were talking about our lead-in was I think Xbox, but
Sure.
we have Gamescom happened. Gamescom is a big deal. It's a European E3 basically. A lot of game announcements happen, but we're just talking about it before the show. Not a lot of stuff really that really got our our juices flowing. What was it like? I mean, I don't know if you got a couple of them. Borderlands 4 got announced.
Right.
Now, talk about poor timing on Borderlands. Like,
Yeah.
I think they were banking on like, all right,
Yeah.
the movie's
We're
gonna
gonna get
the
some
movie
free marketing with the movie.
people are gonna be so mouthwatering, so hungry for Borderlands. We're gonna just slam dunk this trailer. And unfortunately, yeah, like a wet noodle.
Oh my god, yeah.
Borderlands 4 was announced. I'm not the biggest Borderlands fan, but I'm sure people are excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think I just wasn't even thinking about like the movie part and just like wow, that it looks the optics for me now look even worse.
It looks,
Yeah.
it's like literally the worst series of events that could happen for a game release. Literally happened, and I bet you they probably had like a Venn diagram. Like, all right, we're gonna do this. This is gonna blow up here, and then boom, there's either two options. It has to be this, and then it's like
developers discussing like DLC from like movie characters.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Kevin
It's like,
Hart.
all right, let's make sure we're gonna plan the Jamie Lee Curtis skin drop.
Right.
Oh yeah. The skins,
Yeah.
the skins. They probably held that trailer back. They're like,
Yeah.
don't show the Jamie Lee Curtis trailer yet.
Hit movie Borderlands.
We're battle passes, guys. We're gonna be battle passes. There's gonna be so much things we're gonna do with this, and holy shit, that womp womp womp. I mean, that is. I've never had a more appropriate time. I think in my mind for this to happen. Like this is like the worst thing that could have happened. And did you guys see the video where they announced in Gamescom Borderlands 4 the trailer, and they have a camera at the audience, and it was probably
the crowd went mild, huh?
It was mild.
Yeah.
Like people were coming with all the jokes, like, yo, like this is a mild ass reaction. Like it's bad.
Yeah, like who is looking forward to Borderlands 4? I'm maybe there's someone. I'm sure, right? There's probably someone out there, but I just don't think Borderlands has been in the cultural zeitgeist in a hot minute. They did have
5
like
years.
the most. I feel like, didn't we have this conversation? I feel like we had a similar conversation before.
We did.
I think we did. Yeah, when the movie came out.
It had a more recent release than Fallout, but Fallout was still. I feel like Fallout was still more relevant. You know what I mean? Like even though Fallout 76 came out later, like Fallout 76 is. I think
more Fallout has a stronger legacy. I've just a better.
They have more media out there than Borderlands.
Yeah, too. Yeah,
because you had like the mobile games, you had like the toys, the merch, and Bethesda is really good about like merchandising.
Yeah.
So people are more familiar with Fallout.
Yes. They've also kept, even before talking about the TV show, love it or hate it, they've kept Fallout alive. You know what I mean? Through 76.
Yeah,
updates, and they've done their part of keeping that IP lively. Whereas 2K has not done that for Borderlands, and they're expecting, like, hey guys, everyone loves Borderlands, right? Like, you haven't done shit. You haven't put out anything. Nobody knows. I'm pretty sure the Zoomers don't even know what fucking Borderlands is anymore. So it's, it's their own fault if they don't keep the IP. Not like hot properties like Killer Instinct, but those are different. But
that's timeless.
I know, of course. That's like Mario, of course.
I feel like it's interesting to me too, just because I feel like Borderlands was in a place where they could have been like a Destiny in a sense. Like that could have been a live service game.
Yeah,
easily. You know what I mean? Like I've like that universe could have had that part milked out or at some point. I feel like
it seems crazy now that you mention it, that when everyone just kind of jumped to the live service model. Borderlands, everyone's like, nobody even thought about Borderlands. It makes in complete
like,
sense that
right.
it
They
would
have
be
so
a
many
live
guns,
service game.
so much stuff
Yeah.
that can go off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
could
they
do
really
your
could've.
weeklies and dailies and stuff like. I could see that
Mhm.
happening easy. They could have kept it alive.
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe that's what this is supposed to be. So hey, they could still if it's a killer game, it's a killer game. You know what I mean?
Right.
If they
Right.
bring
For
Absolutely.
back,
sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Hey,
unfortunate.
they could definitely resurrect it. There was a game that I did see on Gamescom that I actually kind of liked. But some really quick announcements. I mean,
That
for
Phantom Blade game.
no, I don't know if it's called. It's the first Berserker Kazan.
Oh, that
Mm,
game.
Kazan. And it's kind of like a Souls slash God of War kind of type game,
Yeah.
and I like single player games for sure.
Mhm.
Now more so than anything else. So I thought that was
mm-hmm.
pretty cool. So I took a look at the trailer for that. I mean, that's obviously not getting as much love as other games are.
Mhm.
But they have.
It is. It is from an established property. It is from Dungeon Fighters, I believe.
Oh, really?
Mm,
I
Yeah,
didn't know
Dungeon
that.
Fighters Online. Yeah, like so that they have Dungeon Fighter Online is a fighting game, but
Mhm.
Dungeon is it called Dungeon Fighter? Actually,
Dungeon
I'm
Fighters. Yeah,
getting
there's
confused
Dungeon
now. But
Fighters.
I think Dungeon Fighter itself. Yeah, so that's like the multiplayer game.
Yes.
Um, and the Berserker is a class or like it's a character in that game, and so the Berserker is also like a character, a fighter in the
Hmm.
fighting game. So
Okay.
this one is like the first Berserker. I'm assuming I want to say this is part of the lore of this character, where he's like kind of the first of that class. I've never actually played
Yeah,
it.
no, you're right. I didn't know that.
Okay,
Desert Fighter
yeah,
Online, the fighting game, yeah, multiplayer beat 'em up action, is by the
mhm,
same developer. So that's cool. I did not
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
mm.
So it's an interesting take. So I'm curious if they'll do that. Like if this game does well, they can expand that universe because it looked pretty cool. But
Yeah.
I'll have to see how it plays more.
Yes, same here.
Mhm.
Some other games of note. Sorry, I got distracted by uh looking up Dungeon Fighters. But other games, Marvel Rivals, that is the
Mhm.
uh
Overwatch, Marvels.
Overwatch, yeah, Overwatch clone.
Yeah.
Fragpunk, which we had seen in previous I think Xbox uh, presentations. We saw that.
Mhm.
Another one was Monster Hunter Wilds. That's something I'm interested in. I did
I'm
love,
interested in that too, for sure.
yeah, Monster Hunter World was absolutely phenomenal. I still haven't played Iceborne, but I will eventually.
Mhm.
And then Assassin's Creed Shadow. I know they saw that. Star Wars
Mhm.
Outlaws. Want want. Path of Exile 2. That's
I'm
something that
actually
I'm
excited
interested.
for I'm excited for Outlaws. I wanna play
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
I'm coming around. Like, yeah, my
Yeah,
Outlaws.
I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm curious now about Outlaws. Like, the more I
Yeah.
see,
Mhm.
it might scratch an itch. That like just looking at oddly enough Andor like hype for me. It might scratch that
Yeah.
itch, but I might wait
Yeah.
to see what the feedback is. But it looks
Mhm.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
We had Genshin Impact is now going to be on Xbox finally, so now Ed can live out his fantasies.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Genshin
um,
Impact is not on Xbox.
is not on
No,
Xbox, sir.
it's
So
not on
No,
now
Xbox. It
it's
was a
on the
big miss
it's on
for
the
them, yeah.
It's Samsung fridge. It's not on Xbox.
it's not on
Yeah,
Xbox. Now
I
it is though.
recently read a
Damn.
story, but yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, fuck. I
You
thought
said
it
you
was like
what?
it's the modern day
I
Skyrim. It's everywhere. It seems like.
I had read a story, I feel like I forget why, but like Genshin Impact could have been on Xbox earlier. Maybe I could be wrong, so I don't want to
Mm.
say. But because like I want to say it was something like they made a big mistake and just not grabbing it because yeah, Genshin Impact is huge. But
I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did hear at one point Genshin Impact was supposed to be on Xbox, but I think at the
mhm.
time no one thought that that type of game and
Yeah,
gameplay
they
was
weren't
going to be big.
mhm,
And Genshin
right.
Impact, for all the weebs out there, it was
Mhm.
an absolute banger for them. So
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of took
Yeah,
off and was getting life
and I
through
think like
them.
Sony courted them maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look it up,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, and because it's on PlayStation and it does well for them. So
Hmm.
yep, absolutely.
Isn't it
Um,
also on fucking? Isn't it also on Switch?
yeah, I think so.
yes, I
Yeah,
think
pretty
it's on
sure it's on
Switch.
Switch
Yes.
too. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, looking at other things, Flight Simulator 2024, Diablo 4 was shown there. And yeah, that's about the gist. Oh, and Indiana Jones was announced to not be a Xbox exclusive, right? And now it's
No,
going to be
no. Well, it is. Hey, it is an exclusive. It is coming out on
timed.
December 9th
Time.
exclusively on the Xbox, baby, and then spring 2025, which is the next season. It'll be on PlayStation. So
Yeah.
that could be
Yeah.
what 2 to 3 months. Hot
Yeah.
exclusive window. Hey, Xbox fans, this is what I mean. What more do you want, baby? What more?
Rejoice,
Yeah,
Yeah.
rejoice. You got the a time exclusive for Indiana Jones. I know you
yeah.
guys have been pining for this. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
more? You're right. What more could you actually
More.
want? So,
Yep.
uh,
Yep.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Gamescom, honestly, Gamescom wasn't that exciting. I mean, it kind of, I mean, it's still going on until the 25th. It's currently the 21st. So
Oh, so
games,
we may have amazing announcements to report yet.
yeah. So I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
got still got some things going on. So hopefully it will pop off
Cool.
like what we want it to. So we'll see how that
Cool.
goes.
Cool.
All right. Do you guys have any other stories you guys want to discuss before we get into our main topic?
Oh, there was one game. There was a Phantom Blade Zero. You didn't see that one? That one popped up at Gamescom as
Oh,
well.
I didn't see
So
that.
that
I didn't see that in the list.
yeah,
Is that one that's like did it have like Stellar Blade vibes?
vibes. It is so it is
Uh,
like I don't know if it's a solo developer, but it's an Asian developer. The game is like really it's very gorgeous. It's really good looking,
yes,
and I'm
it's
But is
very
excited.
it
beautiful.
but is it anime girl
Oh no
protagonist?
no no no,
No, no,
that's
no.
not
Okay,
It's
that.
okay,
No.
okay.
anime
Yeah.
guy. It's anime
Yeah, okay,
guy.
Okay.
yeah.
Guy. Okay.
But
I don't care.
one of the things that stood out in one of the original trailers was
Mhm.
the combat, like the action looks it's super cinematic. The way the animation is,
Yes.
if you see it, if you get a chance to see it, it looks really amazing. But they did release another gameplay trailer, and it still looks really good. I don't know if some of the combat that they showed looked as fancy, probably as the vertical
Oh
slice
yeah,
did,
the
right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
it still does look really good. And I feel like it was similar to Black Myth Wukong in a way where
It
yeah.
people were
was.
looking at it and were like, "Yo, is this legit?" You know, like because the animations
Oh
were
yeah.
so fluid. It looked so good that it did not look like gameplay. So they did release gameplay though, and it still looks cool. I'm excited for it. So I want to see how it shakes out.
Yeah,
Want to
it's
see it.
this is I'm saying like these Chinese developers right now are
Yeah.
putting out so many games that look gorgeous, and
Hmm.
it's crazy because Black Myth Wukong was kind of one of those games. It was a
Right.
Chinese developer that made a game look really, really good, and Chinese developers are notorious for making really good gameplay for a
Mhm.
game, and then it comes out on mobile, and you realize it's a gotcha type game,
Uh,
Mhm.
and you're sitting there like, oh man, I was expecting them to be doing wire food and shit, and then come to find
Mhm.
out
Mhm.
it's a Chinese knockoff of Pokemon. So
mm,
the fact that like Phantom Blade Zero looks absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
Gameplay looks it looks like a
mm,
fucking old like wire food type movie, like
mm,
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type shit. Uh,
right.
Mhm.
but the gameplay doesn't seem believable. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah,
it,
but
it
yeah, the more recent stuff, it looks like a game.
yeah, okay.
And it does. And there was another game. So there was an old game on PS2 called Bujin Guy, and it had kind of a similar combat style where
Oh yes, yes, yes. Is
when
that with the
yeah
ninja
when it
one?
no this is the one that
Oh,
had Gact
the yes, he was a
as his
Japanese
main
or a
character.
Korean pop star in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
had the two
yep,
sword
yep.
like the yep. I remember.
Yeah, the double swords. Yep, yeah. And
Yep.
so like one of the systems they had in there during combat was like when enemies are attacking you, they have like this clash system, and you're animating or in the animation, he's they're like doing this kind of cool sword fight, and so yeah, I think the game is similar to that, to where when you are defending, you have like this sort of concentration meter, and the animations while it's happening makes it look it has like a really cool style, right? It looks what I'm trying to say. The choreography is really well done. And
Mm.
so first is like your character just standing there blocking and just like moving back from being hit. And so they're actually taking like real parries and sword swipes at each other. It looks it
That's
makes
so
it look
dope.
really fluid, and then
Yeah.
you take actions during those animations, and then
Mhm.
it kind of flows together really well, so it makes it look really dope. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking how it works. So
I'm looking forward
really,
to it. So
yeah.
yeah, it looks dope. All right, cool. I guess that's all for our stories, right? Do we have any other?
That's news.
I think
Yeah,
that's it for
no.
the news and cool shit that's happened this week. All right, so we're gonna kick it off into our main topic. Um, uh, Obviously, this topic will include spoilers. There are some some spoilers, some cameo appearances that happen. So, listen to this portion at your own risk. I myself did not see this movie. Unfortunately, I just did not have the time to, due to some unforeseen circumstances, but it's all good. But I believe everybody else, you guys all watched the movie, correct?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I will shut the hell up and let you guys discuss it. But yeah, I don't know who wants to take it away, but whoever wants to talk about it can.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
It was it Alien Romulus. It felt like it came out of nowhere, right? This movie, like, I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't even expecting it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, like, what's your history too? Like with Alien,
with
have you
Aliens,
seen the
I
other
mean,
ones? And
I
yeah,
love them. I love all the Alien movies. I
okay.
think we've talked about them
All
on
the
this
Alien
podcast.
Wait,
movies?
all of them?
I don't like
Resurrection.
AVP.
Okay.
And you know what? I there's a soft spot for Resurrection. I
Oh,
like
Lord.
I have a soft spot for Resurrection. It's not good. I'm not gonna say it's good. I won't never argue
Wait, is
that.
Resurrection?
But
Yeah.
Is that the one? Is that the sequel to AVP? Is the one that came after that?
no.
No.
That's
That's with
that's Requiem, baby.
Winona.
Requiem.
Yeah, that's
Requiem.
Requiem.
Requiem
Yes.
is the other one, yeah.
Yeah,
Resurrection's the one with
Resurrections with
Winona.
Okay.
Winona Ryder
Um, so they have the clones of
Clone.
Ron
Yeah.
Perlman.
Ron
Yeah,
Perlman.
Yeah.
Ron
Okay.
Ron
Gotcha.
Perlman.
Gotcha.
Perlman, yeah.
There is a little bit of a Deep Blue Sea vibe to that movie that I really
You must
like.
have liked this movie then. You must
I
have liked Romulus then.
I did like Romulus. Yeah, this one more plays to like it tries to uh, go back to those little bit of horror roots. It tries to go back to the horror roots a little bit.
Barely.
Yeah.
I gotta say, well, look, one thing I'm gonna give this movie is at least the trailer was honest.
Mhm.
Because holy
Was
shit, what I expected is exactly what I got.
Mm.
It's
What did you expect?
like I expected this. Basically, 2024 version or 2023 version of Resurrection is what I thought when I saw like people like running with hundreds of fucking face huggers like crawling through the ground and shit. And then like in the movie there's like people like run and they're like running from like a bunch of like creatures at once and then they're sliding under it and they're doing like one liners like don't you touch her, bitch, or whatever. It's like, oh my
yeah, but
God.
that
And,
one
like, literally-
that one liner, that's a legacy one liner.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
for
but
a
that's not a
damn
one liner.
android
Yeah,
that
that's
has
from Aliens.
Asperger's to use at the
That's
end of
so
a
funny.
fucking thing.
No.
Yeah.
I also like rolled my eyes on that specific scene that you talked about, but
Yeah.
I give that gets the pass for me because like they can do. I wish they kind of like. There's two parts to that line. I wish he just did the first part of the line, and we all know what the second part is. But he had like, yeah, I know. I rolled my eyes
Look,
too.
listen, if he had said, get your hands off her, done.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I kind of wanted him to say.
But then when they put the bitch in, it's like, oh.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I was like, oh my lord.
Really,
Well, literally,
know.
it was J.J. Abrams' Aliens.
No.
This is literally what it was J.J.
No,
Abrams
no.
Aliens. No sense of like dread or the opening. The first probably like 15 minutes of this movie was like, oh shit, this is interesting, right? Because you have like the slow build, the music, the slow zoom outs, and you see these things, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is really like, you know, it's like moody and you know, the theme and the music, and then they're like, yeah, you know, this young group wants to go and, you know, make money by, you know, like raiding this ship, and I'm like, oh wow, that is kind of an interesting take on it and everything. Once they get to the ship, holy shit, it just turns into like again, J.J. Abram
What do you
territory
mean by
aliens
that?
where
What do you mean by
it's
that?
like
Okay,
bombastic. It's
yeah.
overly
I want to
bombastic.
say,
But, have
I
you
wanna
not
say-
seen Aliens? Aliens is bombastic.
yeah,
No,
no.
aliens. Aliens.
I feel like-
It's not bombastic. It might be action oriented, but it's not bombastic to this level. Aliens at least has a sense of like realism to it, in the sense that you're actually watching like highly trained mercenaries go against a handful of aliens. Not even how many,
Okay,
one alien maybe?
okay.
Exactly, just a couple.
No,
No,
And
no,
just
no,
the
no.
fact-
In Aliens, there was
Aliens,
hundreds.
it's a fully infested world.
Oh, it's a fully
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
remembering something else. But let's say
Yeah,
they
yeah.
go in there, and literally now you're seeing like our top. Basically, it's like us sending like our 10%
fucking
of the
SEAL
Navy
Team
SEAls,
6,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. SEAL. It's like we'll
Yeah.
grab like the best of the best of the best
Yeah.
of the best and send them in there,
Yeah.
and they just get fucking
They're
demolished,
fucking,
right?
Game over, man.
Game
Exactly,
over.
exactly. So that's the point of the movie. And in this one, it's just a bunch of like mine workers who end up becoming like
Okay.
fucking parkour experts
I
as they're running
will-
away from
I-
like
Wait,
acid and
wait.
zero G.
But really quick, Bandito, you're trying to say
Yeah,
something.
Bandito.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
Bandito.
Oh no, it was just like I think so. I've only seen Alien, which I enjoyed, and then I've probably seen Aliens and like Aliens 3 a long time ago, and Prometheus. I never seen Alien Resurrection, but I feel like Waldo saying, or him saying that, and me already thinking like this is like a remake of this because it was so, and what he said the beginning of the movie is the most interesting part. It's so funny because like it was like that was the most interesting part of the movie because you're just that was where the mystery was and like what is this stuff, and but then once they get to the ship, it was like everything was predictable. I mean they and the thing was is like I didn't not like the movie because I was like this it's good but it doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
Right, it didn't do anything like in Prometheus. I was interested in because I was kind of interested in what they were going to do with the lore. I ended up like not really liking the movie, but for that in this movie like there was none of that. It was just hey, these people go up into that ship and hey, facehuggers, you remember that? You know exactly what's going to happen with that. Like it happens exactly how you think it happens.
3 were scary. What if
Yeah.
we give you 50?
Yeah, and it's like
Ooh.
now an alien's hunting them down. It's like it, and that was the tension. Like that was the that was it. You know, like that was the only thing that we're worried about. And no, I mean so there's also the subplot of Andy, right, and kind of his metamorphosis during back and forth, but still he
AKA Ed as an android is what I was thinking. As soon as,
Yeah.
obviously, before he gets the
Yeah.
upgrade, I'm like, oh shit, that's Ed as an
Yeah.
android.
But they predicted the upgrade. Hey, bad idea. They upgraded him. He did exactly what the guy said he was gonna do. Like the reason that the guy hated androids in the first place. Andy did it.
Yeah.
Then he didn't learn anything from it. I mean, like he's an android, right? Not that you would expect him to, but I mean, I was thinking like the pregnant lady for some reason was gonna make it through the movie because I was like, oh, it's 2024. They're probably gonna have her make it through. And then she predictably goes through her shit and she dies in like a really terrible way. I guess it was like a callback to an old movie like this happened before. But again, this was like
to several things.
And so and that's the whole movie. The whole movie is just a callback. Like, hey, remember and not like not in a bad like, hey, remember this? Like Star Wars The New Hope or Force Awakens was. But this it's just it was so I feel like this was like the microwave alien movie. Like you get this is what you wanted, like here, this is what you got. Hey, you remember when we made Alien? Here's a modern take. And it's like, yeah, this is what it will look like. It's good, but there was nothing else interesting about it.
It's not offensive, but it's not
right.
You know. I've seen this before.
Yeah, and that's how I felt like I wanted more from it, and I couldn't really nail down what it was. I just kept going back to thinking of Prometheus because I was interested in that because it had like the cool like an alien dude, and it's like here's
telling the story,
history,
like humanity's creators coming back to kill their creations for some weird reason. Yeah,
it like and there's just none of that. Like the beginning, I thought they were gonna go in some direction of like kind of touching on maybe some alien lore that we didn't know about or something. I don't know. I mean, the end was freaky as shit, right? When
the baby
does come out.
Yeah, that is a callback to Alien 3,
Oh.
and yeah, a couple other things. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But here's the thing, I like the movie. Like I liked the movie quite a bit. The number one thing I liked about the movie was the atmosphere in the movie. I liked it a lot. I think they really nailed like the design and feel, the music. I love music in movies. Like, and it's either you nail it or you don't. And this had a very good soundtrack. Maybe it's just like Alien, but like they nailed the beats
It's
of
the
the movie.
resurrection thing where it's more music video-y. It's not as tense, let's say, as the original one, where it was more subdued.
Yeah,
It
but
seemed to be a little more.
I don't think you're thinking about Aliens. I don't think you're like. There's two different.
No, I'm not saying aliens. I'm
Alien.
saying alien. Yeah.
Well, Aliens as a franchise is a pretty mixed genre. Like it's the first one is horror and the second one is action, and there's a different feel to the music, and there's a different feel to like the tone switch that happens in there. And Alien 3 and Resurrection, they all have this tone switch, and the first movie is the closest one. I think, that's in the neighborhood with Prometheus, and there's like this dread, and there's this like ominous like dread in the background. I think this movie, you're right, it tackled some of those themes, but it also like it's in the wheelhouse of the franchise it belongs to. And
I'm not
also,
saying that it doesn't belong. Yeah, it
well,
belongs. I'm just saying it's closer to.
I'm not saying you're not.
Like, it's closer to, like, you're right, around that range of resurrection, like later aliens, resurrection, blah blah blah.
You need to rewatch Resurrection, because Resurrection in this movies they're closer in DNA than the original two. I would agree with you, but they're really apart when it comes to the tone of the movie. Like Resurrection is a product of its time, of the 90s. You know what I mean? It's like this is a product of the current generation of like legacy sequels and everything. But I do like I said, I did like the atmosphere of the movie. You said something that I really rolled my eyes. The one thing I hated, the number one thing I hated that really bothered me, and other movies have done this, especially recently. It's the cast of young people. I really like. I saw this with a friend, and I said that's the number one thing that I rolled my eyes on. And I watched. I don't know if you guys saw Twisters. This summer.
No.
Okay.
The newer Twister movie.
The newest Twister movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's never gonna beat the old one, by the way.
Yeah, no, the old one's great. No, actually, I like the new one better. They've done way more. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are digging the new one just because like technology's gotten a little bit better and they're able to do some cool shit. I don't know, we're not doing a Twisters review here, but the beginning of Twisters has these like young college kids doing what the original cast was doing in the original movie, and I was like, oh fuck, man, I don't want to see some fucking Zoomers. Like, I mean, in Jeopardy. And spoilers for that movie, slight spoilers. In the beginning of that movie, like the young cast gets wiped out, right? And then you bring in the seasoned cast of older people who know their shit and are doing it. And so that movie kind of flipped, and I was like, oh, I settled into that movie. This movie starts with that, and it's all these young kids running around, like it felt like I don't know, I don't want to over exaggerate here, but it felt like a Disney like channel version of something, you know what I mean?
Like a CW thing.
Yeah, the kids of the characters that you know what I mean? It felt a little bit like little junior CW kind of. It had that little bit of a vibe, and I didn't like that. But then, because I was waiting for where the fucking adults.
That was the point, though. They were supposed to be like young, naive.
Yeah, I know. Somebody explained this.
Kids. They were not supposed to be like working people, whatever. They're just like young, dumb people that just want to make a lot of money fast.
Yeah, they're idealistic, but like I would have preferred that the main guy, the leader of the group, who like engineers. I wish that would have been like an older guy trying to take advantage of like younger aspirations, and like like just throw some like different range in there, because I didn't want like a like a like a teen romp or anything like that, meets Alien.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Right,
that.
right,
I'm
right.
just saying that vibe I got. I was like, oh God.
Yeah, I don't
Anyways,
think there was too much of a teen romp. I think there was just the age is what made sense to the story, right? You're basically putting these
Yeah.
like really young people that have no experience in anything, right? Other than maybe pilot. Because even the piloting, the only one person or two people I think knew how to pilot. Everyone else didn't know how to do shit except they were all mine workers, right?
Yeah.
So that's the point. You're putting people with like no survival skills or anything in this spot where they're basically trapped with, a xenomorph.
Yeah. And like this, so going back to like what you were talking about, Green Tuner, like Ridley Scott tried to give people something new and different in Prometheus. And
I loved it. I'm a
you liked
huge
it.
fan of Prometheus.
You liked it. I liked it, but I think the general audience did not like it.
I was not a fan.
The general audience did not like it.
I wanted to like it. I was amazed by the trailers. I was like, this is gonna be fucking great. But they let me down.
Yeah, I guess the trailers made it look a little different from what it really was. But
but like the studio learned that people fucking want Alien. They don't want like these, like they don't want to go too far off the beaten path. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm with you. Especially nowadays, nobody
so
really goes.
Yeah, but when you say, "Oh my God, face huggers," we've never seen that. Yeah, because this is the tried and true. This is the fucking formula. This is what
I agree.
What it is. Alien boils down to the eggs.
Yeah.
The face huggers, the Xenos, and if you have time, throw in the Queen. But that's it. There's not a lot of variation here. So in this, that's it. Those are the hits. So
that was my issue. Was just like
the hits.
They were like, but I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't expecting that. I felt like after it was over, it was like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Here's the thing, though. Yeah, maybe they're out of ideas, but that still doesn't excuse it from just being a mediocre movie.
I don't think
it still doesn't excuse it. I thought it was a mediocre movie.
No.
I don't think it's a horrible movie. I just think it's a mediocre movie. Again, and you're complaining about like the young, attractive people and all that shit. Yeah, that's 2024. Again, like the current equivalent of J.J. Abrams' worth of Aliens. You put young, attractive people in a movie that's gonna put people's asses in seats. And you're right. I mean, I agree 100% with you. Especially nowadays, nobody goes to a movie. They're not about to put a thought-provoking, slow-paced horror movie in theaters with the brand Aliens on it, right? It makes no financial sense. They're going to put something that is literally going to attract your average moviegoer where it's like, oh, shit, there's a new Alien movie. Let's go see this creature kill a bunch of, whatever characters.
This is a franchise. This is it's not a like small budget horror film, you know what I mean? This is a major franchise. This movie did everything that it should do, and it did it well. You cannot knock the because especially when you talk about the recent remakes and legacy sequels and everything that come out, like they don't stick the landing. None of them take risks because it's not safe, right? So the most you can expect for some of them is just make sure you stick the landing on what you're setting out to do. I think this movie stuck the landing. I think it, like I said, it had a lot of it played the hits and it played them well. You know what I mean? That's what I was expecting. I didn't want to be totally bored by it, and at no point was I totally bored by it. It's like eating It's like eating a cheeseburger. I know how a cheeseburger tastes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm expecting a cheeseburger and I got one. I wasn't expecting the greatest cheeseburger of all time or to have that experience when I had it the first time. It was just good. You know what I mean? So could it have done more? Possibly, but then you're going into the Prometheus camp, and like I say, I'm for it, but they got burned a lot on Prometheus, and they know now to not venture too far from what people like about Aliens, and that is the claustrophobia. That is the the monster, the very familiar monsters, and there is a very formulaic story that ends up happening in almost every Aliens movie. And there's also and this is going back to what Bandito Mecca was talking about, there's a fake out ending that always happens. It's like a tail ending that they always add on where you think it's over and it's not over. It's like a guaranteed thing you're going to get in all these movies. Yeah, would it be nice to do something new? But it would be great. But we don't get those options. Like, I mean,
I know we don't get them, but again, I was expecting again, to me, a mediocre alien movie by the numbers, and that's exactly what I got. That's why I said, like, the trailer literally didn't lie to me. I knew what was going on. Again, I just because everyone else sucks at doing franchises doesn't excuse it from still being a mediocre movie, even if it's passable to me. It's either, to me, I either find it entertaining or I don't. And in this case, it was fine, but I don't think I walked out of the theater feeling like I actually truly enjoyed it, you know, as opposed as to whatever we watched last time. I even forgot what we watched last.
Okay.
Deadpool and Wolverine. I actually felt similar.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, I felt much more rejuvenated and excited after watching Deadpool and Wolverine than I did watching this.
Yeah, like I would say I felt the way I felt about this was the way I felt about Deadpool and Wolverine, just in the sense that, like, if I'm using your cheeseburger analogy, I would say that I don't want to go out and get a burger that makes, if you don't make a cheeseburger that better than I can make the cheeseburger. And the thing is, I make really good cheeseburgers too, so that's another thing. So just not to, but
slight flex.
It's like I went to a restaurant and
that sounds like a challenge to me.
Yeah, that's
we could do it. I'll
what
be
the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, but that's the thing is, like, if I can go, I don't want to get the same thing that I can get at home. Like, if I could have made this at home, then not to say that the burger is terrible, right? It's just like Waldo was saying, it's like, okay, I'm not excited about coming back. But again, and it sounds like I'm pooping on the movie, and I don't think it's.
Don't get me wrong. I don't hate this movie. I know it sounds like I hate this movie. I don't.
Because like if you were going in there, you're like, I want Alien. It's like, yo, this is an alien movie, right? Like, like you're saying, it follows the formula.
It does its job for sure.
Yeah, it does its job.
If someone asked me, hey, should I go watch Alien Romulus? I would be like, yeah, go watch it. You'll have fun. Like, I wouldn't tell them not to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But just like, I wasn't excited about it, you know. But it was, I mean, there were some exciting parts, right? But I'm like, I'm not jazzed about.
Well, I mean, okay, so what did you guys think of the zero gravity acid sequence? Did you think that was creative or different?
That was neat.
Yeah, it was neat. It was neat. I liked that.
I appreciated them, like that's something I thought about, like, you know, like zero gravity in an alien movie. I don't know if that's been. They had water in Resurrection. I don't remember if zero gravity played a lot in other alien movies. But this one, I like the idea of that, like doing something interesting. I wanted them to be more like where'd the bodies go? Like when it just became like a slurry of acid, I was like, oh
yeah,
where the fuck the bodies go? Like, I mean, but I thought it was a cool idea, and I thought that her using the gun to move around was a little cool. Yeah, no, I liked Ed. He was cool. And
Ed was pretty neat, yeah.
Ed was neat. Okay, now let's get to the controversy of the film that it's getting a lot of hype here. What did you guys think of the cameo of Ash from the first movie coming back? Now the actor's dead. Ian Holm's been dead for like 4 years, 5 years. So they got his wife's consent. I'm sure the big payday was involved in that. And so they motion captured this actor from the first movie back. I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was like, and I'm sorry, Creamcast not able to give his opinion here. I'm notorious on this podcast for not having a good eye for CG. I like think things look good when they don't. Once again, I will yield to you guys here, but I didn't think he looked terrible. I thought he looked a little weird, but I was like, such is the nature of synthetic human being, especially in the fucked up shape that he was in, that I kind of was like, it's all right. But like for a while, I completely forgot he was dead. You know, I was like, oh fuck, they brought back Ian Holm and fucking de-aged him. but
Mhm.
fucking dude's been dead. Like fucking
Yeah, he's
No,
been
I
there for I don't
I
know.
had no idea. I didn't even know that. So
yeah, fucking
I didn't.
Bilbo, bitch.
I thought he looked decent. There was definitely some scenes where you could. It's obvious, like, oh, this is like CG. But
I got
again, I think being the synth still
yeah.
like gives it helps it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Do you think it's
No, what's up?
disrespectful? That's the term. That's what everyone's talking
That's
about here.
No, it's just
wait.
a
So is
movie
he dead?
character.
He's dead in real life?
Yeah, he died. The actor died.
Oh, the actress dead. Okay, the actress dead. Okay.
The actor died
Yeah,
like
they
5
can't
years ago.
cast him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
I
that
didn't
was
know.
the
Yeah.
twist when he fucking like when they turned on
When he showed up.
that
Yeah.
body, and I was like, oh shit,
Oh.
fucking, and
Yeah.
he looked like he looked in '79. So I was like, oh shit, fucking, they clearly de-aged
Oh
oh
man,
boy
no,
here.
I don't. If his wife doesn't care, if his estate doesn't give a shit, I don't care. I wouldn't
nah, they
care.
probably
I
paid
mean,
him.
so
They
dead.
probably give him royalties.
This is
Yeah.
a big litmus test, right? This
Mhm.
I think this was a big litmus test for major motion pictures to what they can get away with, and I think, yeah, love or hate all Alien Romulus, I think most people, there's a controversy on this, and I think
Yeah.
Creamcast has read some of this, so he might have an opinion here, but I think most people who saw it, I think were okay with it. Because
Yeah.
I think it
I'm
was
wondering if they knew as well. I mean, I didn't even know. But
yeah. In the
yeah.
context, I think it
Mhm.
was it was he's an interesting character, and you get to play with that character again. And how many
Yeah.
more movies can you do that with? You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I would like would you like I was thinking about like fucking I would like to see a young 80s Arnie fight Predator again. You know what I mean? Fucking like they could probably do that at this point.
That's the
You want like
future, man. It's gonna be all
CG
CG.
movie like
Oh
that.
yeah.
What you
Oh
want?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like what was that movie that was way before its time? Grendel, right? No.
Grendel?
It wasn't Grendel, but the monster was
Oh.
Grendel.
Yeah, I forgot it
Wolf,
with that
Wolf
Angelina Jolie,
thing, Wolf
Beowulf.
something.
Oh,
Beowulf.
yeah.
That was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
proto, virtual
And
actors.
fucking Zemeckis, right? Yeah.
With Zemeckis, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we also had like fucking Tron Legacy with Jeff Bridges
yeah.
as a younger
Right.
version of himself, like fucking an early ass CG, but
I don't know, but I always have that what's that thing called where like there's something off where you just know it's not a real person.
Uncanny Valley. Yeah.
I always, even with this one, I got it heavy. I can never buy that it's a real person.
Yeah, but that's the cheat here, right? Because it's not a real person.
Right,
It's an android.
It's a robot.
Yeah.
It's an android. So there's
Mhm.
something off about it. And I was like, is this the perfect use of this
Right.
technology at this? Is this the perfect get out of jail for this
Mhm.
Uncanny Valley situation? And okay, you tell me if I'm wrong. I didn't think it looked that bad. Now, am I wrong? Am I crazy? Because I need to know. Because
No,
I have.
it didn't look bad at all. I didn't think
Okay.
it looked that bad.
Okay.
I
Okay.
thought it
Bobby.
looked bad. But then
Okay,
again,
there
you go.
usually CG stands out a lot, especially with those ones.
Mm.
Like, I think it's
Yeah.
usually more successful when they're like how James Cameron does it, where he'll have real actors standing
Mhm.
next to like face, CG people or whatever.
Mhm.
And your eye is so busy seeing everything, it just kind of blends them all in. They don't stand out because they're kind of mixed into a bigger cast of humans
Yeah.
and fake people in there.
So, I mean, you want to talk about that? Like, we could talk about that that monster at the end, or the creature at the end, and like they did
Yeah.
a lot of obscuring of him, like with the smoke and stuff, because
Yep.
I'm sure he looks really silly in the light, but
I
that
thought
CG
I
was
thought
like,
you looked.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. I don't think it wasn't terrible, but I mean, just the creature
Yeah.
design overall was just kind of like crazy.
I
But like,
think the
Yeah, it
creature
was
design.
interesting.
I think that was like you're talking about the horror, right? I think that's
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I got the most horror out of the movie. Like
Mhm.
the character that creature is so disgusting and to the human eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
don't want it to exist, and I think they captured that, especially at certain parts where like you get a good look at the whole
Mhm.
body.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, this is something uncomfortable that I don't like. I think they did a good job with that. I mean, like it's like it doesn't come close to it, but it was
Mhm.
the closest we could ever get to the med pod scene in Prometheus. That horror in that sequence.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It doesn't.
that
It
was
does.
good.
Yeah, it was real good. It doesn't come close to that, but
Mhm.
this had like vibes and touches. That's why,
Yeah.
like going back to this movie, like I liked they added a little bit of everything in it, and yeah, it has it has a bit of resurrection in there. I'm not going to say doesn't, but I think it does. It airs more on the side of the better remake and better
Mhm.
sequel side
Yeah,
of
for
things for
sure.
me than it does on the opposite side. I think it does a lot of things right, and
Mhm.
and yeah, it's afraid to take risks because
Yeah.
that's the state of the fucking industry. They're afraid to take risks.
Right.
Fucking uh, Kathleen Kennedy and Disney and nobody wants to take any risks. Everyone wants to play it safe.
Yeah.
And this is one of those franchises. You can't fuck up aliens. I mean, if you
if you stick
if
the
you
formula, you'll be
Star
successful.
Wars aliens and people are pissed off
Yeah.
at you, I
Yeah.
think everyone's terrified of that.
Yeah.
I think for what it is, it nails I think it nails the landing for what it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
I had a good time with it. I love the music. I love the atmosphere. Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as Prometheus and those characters. But see, that's the difference. That's the difference. The cast of Prometheus, the cast of Alien Covenant, all
Mhm.
adults with weight, and
Right.
there's just something about that I just
Yeah. I think that
Even
definitely did this movie a disservice. It's like the
yeah,
weight
the
of the
cast,
characters. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
you didn't
they're
really have enough time
inexperienced.
to care about them that
Inexperienced,
much. Yeah.
exactly. And I
Mhm.
and you're right, it's just a modern thing. But going back to the creature, the final weird creature,
Mm-hmm.
it also was reminiscent a little bit of the engineers.
Engineers, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it had sort of some of those features. So I'm
Yes.
assuming the engineers then used their own DNA to create the xenomorphs.
Yes.
Somehow or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Human beings and xenomorphs and engineers, we all have the same DNA, or if I remember that correctly, we're all bastardizations of we come from the same
The same
source.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why they can breed with us and use us for
Mhm.
incubation and so on and so forth. But yeah, when that little pod opened up and the little baby was in there, I was like, that's a fucking engineer. It looked exactly
Yeah.
like an engineer.
Yeah, when
And
it
I was
opened
like,
its eyes, I was like,
yeah,
"What the fuck?" I'm
Yeah.
like,
that's what I
it
was like.
was interesting. That
Oh,
was
yeah, that
interesting.
was
I was like, "All
interesting.
right,
Yeah.
yeah."
Mhm.
But no, yeah, it's like I said, I think the movie is worthwhile. I like it.
What would you give it? How many blurries would you give it?
We getting blurs now. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.5 blurries. I liked it a lot. It worked for me.
All right.
To
This discussion again, I wasn't gonna completely hate it or give it something, but the discussion made me appreciate some more aspects of it. So I'm gonna give it a 7 blurries.
Okay. Bandito.
Probably, yeah, I would say 7. 7 probably what I would land at because I feel like it's still a good movie.
It's a
But
good,
yeah,
yeah. If someone asked me again, I would say, yeah, go see it. It's
Mhm.
fun. Just
Yeah.
go enjoy it. Just go
Right.
enjoy it.
Let's
That's
go
all.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've the guy who made Freddy excuse me. Freddy Alvarez, the director. I'm excited to see what else he could do. Obviously this movie leaves it open to a sequel. I don't know if we're gonna get a sequel. I think they'd be fine to just leave it alone. But I think they hinted heavily at Ash the robot sends a message to Wayland that they have the Prometheus vials,
Yeah.
so I assume that they're gonna send Marines after them to recapture it, and we all know that those vials will cause all kinds of mayhem wherever they go. Or all you need is one face hugger in some kind of cryo sleep, and
Yep.
introduce it into any human environment wherever they're going. It's gonna be fun in the sun. So I
Not
could see
even. Don't you
easy
remember
sequel.
Jurassic Park? Everyone made a big deal about the Barbasol can. It's like, oh yeah, that's where the sequels are gonna come out. And never
I
got addressed
remember.
again.
I
Well,
remember.
they
I
they did
remember.
reference that.
This might suffer the same fate.
They
Oh man.
referenced that in the new Jurassic Park
The
movies,
new one,
the
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Barbasol
Dominion,
can.
yeah.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
see,
so
see,
Yeah.
funny.
you thought they forgot about it, but they really didn't. See, you just weren't
they
paying attention.
what they found it in the new one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's referenced in there they recovered it or whatever. I mean, I think you see the actual Barbasol can,
Oh.
right? I don't remember
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
reference that
they do
but
a
it's in there.
reference. Yeah, you see the can again, Barbara
Yeah.
Salkin. I forgot how because it's been a little while since I've seen that
I
movie.
think it's implied that the company that was bribing Wayne Knight's character to take it is the company that we end up seeing in Dominion.
Yeah,
That
it's like this is
is
not the
so
this is not
like
the
they're
first
trying
time
to
though.
they were like trying to they've been trying to steal from Hammond the whole time.
Is Dominion the last one, the one where they're like hunting wild dinosaurs and stuff?
Yes, it's the one we shall
Okay.
never talk about. And,
That's the one with the insects, right?
Yes, dear
With the
God,
giant
yes.
crickets.
Yes,
man.
God damn it! Stop
Yes,
talking
yes.
about it. Fucking.
I'm just making sure because
yeah.
I still think I have to
Fucking, why are
see
you
the
giving
Die
memories
Hard,
of
the
this
Die
fucking
Hard
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
You
want to
wanna relive
fucking
it?
remember that movie exists.
Oh,
Fuck.
man.
I thought it was pretty dope. Dinosaur
yeah.
crickets. Come on.
Oh yeah, it was fucking
Oh,
good
wow.
for sure. But yeah, no, that's all we got here. Primcast, you are you even gonna watch this movie now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will 100% still watch it. I might see it this weekend. Because I will have a little bit of free time. My nephew's gonna be out at a birthday party spending the night, so I'll probably watch it that night.
Here's what I
Um,
would say. Here's the advice I would give you. Find out where you have the best sound system and go there. Because I
oh
think this.
well, I can't watch it here then.
Okay, he's
This
in the
is
middle of nowhere.
this where I'm at. There's
You got no
literally
Dolby?
this. No, I think it might
Shit.
have it might
The
have
movie
Dolby.
theater has like a sound bar, probably.
Yeah, like I think it literally there's some guys in the background with some
Like
paper
a
roll
Vizio?
tubes. Nah,
He's holding up a Vizio?
nah, I think
Yeah.
I think it's even worse. They got paper roll tube, paper towel
Oh.
rolls, and like boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
boom,
that's
boom, boom.
fucking that's called 40X, man. That's where they
Yeah,
shake
True,
the seat and
yeah.
everything.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, I think
Just
there's
have an
guys.
old cooked speaker. It's all
Yeah, I think
nice.
I think there's guys that literally come behind you in your chair and they just
Yeah.
rumble your chair behind you.
Mm.
Well, damn right. You paid fucking $19.99 for that seat. They better do all the
Yeah.
stuff.
Hey, yeah,
they
I mean, hey, I
blow
want
into
you to do
your ear.
everything. Yeah, I want you to blow in my ear.
Yeah,
Like
aren't those ridiculous
Yeah.
expensive though?
40X.
Like when you go to this like
Yeah, they're expensive.
4DX, blah 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 blah.
What's
blah.
expensive?
Yeah, I
The 40X
went there.
Isn't it
theaters.
like $40 or something?
No. I
No,
went
that's what I
there
thought.
years
But
ago and it wasn't that
it's
expensive.
similar.
Yeah.
But it is similar.
It's like
Like
20. It was like 20. It was like 20 when I went.
well, you
Oh,
probably
20.
20.
Okay, I thought I saw like $40 tickets. I was like,
Oh, well,
No, I
hold on.
think
But this is pre-inflation. I went
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
pre-inflation.
Oh, okay.
I think $20. I think you're underestimating how long ago it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Might
take a
be
look. I mean,
24.
I'm gonna take a look right now.
25.
Let me see what
Let's say
40X
24.
theaters.
Yeah.
40X theater
40X. Yes.
Because
prices.
I wouldn't mind seeing some like Twisters would have been good in 40X.
yeah,
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
for sure
That'd
would have
be
been
nice.
good in that thing.
Yeah, it had a lot of like
Yeah.
effects and shit.
Yeah, 40X is anywhere from 20. Oh, you're right. It's actually $20 to $30. So
Oh, okay.
as far as a range is concerned, I mean, you're not too bad.
Yeah.
But no, like I will go see it eventually. I'm excited about it all the same. I kind of zoned out during this conversation because I want to see it without too many biased opinions on it. So
There's a xenomorph in the movie.
yeah, oh shit. It's over, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Nah,
Sorry to break it to you.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
No, I think you'll like
I think
it.
I'm gonna enjoy it.
I think you'll like it. Yeah.
I know you're an Alien fan, and I
Yes.
think, like I said, it plays the hits, and you
gonna
go for the
hate
hits.
it.
You'll like it.
You
Yeah.
and Darkseid are gonna be talking all night talking about this movie.
Hell
Don't
yeah.
even
No,
worry.
see the thing is I know listening to half listening to Green Tuner, once again, he wants the
pretentious,
yeah.
motherfucker. We know that
Like,
for sure.
He's gonna be like, well, this is
Listen,
not
all I
at the
want-
level of Oh Boy, and I was expecting the Xenomorph to come out and do some wired food because I really wanted to subvert my expectations. Like, shut up! Like we know you're a cinemaphile.
There is a.
I just want a
scale for
scene
Green
with a
Tuner
xenomorph in black and white flipping a pancake in a kitchen.
in slow
If they
motion.
could give me that, then yeah,
In
they're
slow
getting
motion,
10
yes.
Templars.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
slow motion.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, see,
I was gonna say there's a scale I have in my mind now, and it's firmly established with like data and science behind it. If Green Tuner gives it a 7, I'm gonna scale it up. I can scale it easily to a 8.5.
Yes.
To 8.5 to 8.9. So like I now know Like it's science and data in my brain, years of processing.
Yes.
So he can give me any number, I'll immediately know like where it falls in the actual reality. So he, in a way, he's a pretty good gauge.
Yeah, Green Tuner is like is
I
crazy.
can't help it. I like what I like. You know?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Green Tuner
just
is
what
like
it
one of
is.
those. Green Tuner is one of those weird people. Be like, hey, I went to the amusement park. I give it a 2. But then he'll
Yeah.
be like, yeah, I went to a museum on stomping balls, and it was a 12 out of 12. And everybody's like, what the fuck? Like,
Mhm.
how do you even
Actually,
like?
you're not
Where's the
far off.
correlation? He's like, where's the correlation? Like,
Yeah.
where
I mean,
where?
yeah,
Because
he has his own taste, of course.
yeah, he has his own taste.
Mhm,
It's,
mhm.
it's really weird.
Mhm.
I
But
went to a camel judging competition. It was pretty dope.
yeah,
Mhm.
he was like,
Some random shit.
yeah, random as shit. It's like he's like, it's a 15 out of 10. It was the greatest experience ever. And then it'll be like, hey, it was a game show that you won $1 million. It was mid. It was 1 out of 10.
Mid.
I really didn't enjoy
Too cold, man.
myself. Yeah, too cold. It was too cold. Not enough entertainment. Not enough old boy. So yeah, this I realized that this movie is like I feel like to go into this movie, like I think we're kind of missing this type of movie, and that is summer blockbusters. I feel like
Yeah.
we're getting to a point where don't say yeah, bitch. You're talking about yeah, and you gave it the best
I
score.
like summer blockbusters.
I know you do, but I mean, think about back in the day, right? Back in the '90s, we had like Independence Day. These are not movies that are. There was a guy who was a
Oh
drunk
Lord.
who
Yeah,
got
don't remind
abducted by
me. I
his
love
yeah.
that movie, but I can recognize it's a shit movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But I
exactly.
love it.
But it was
I
a
love it.
great movie for its time. It was a blockbuster, not because it
Yeah.
was written by Martin Scorsese and directed or the score done by Hans Zimmer and all this other stuff
Right.
and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It was a
Welcome to
just
Earth, bitch.
yeah, it was just like yeah, welcome to Earth type shit. And I think like Alien Romulus, like even though this is at the butt end of summer, this is kind of like a summer blockbuster. It's a treat to have, it's a treat to
Yeah.
watch, just because it's mindless kind of horror action. It doesn't have to be really great. And I do get like Bandito was saying earlier, this is not a movie that going from aliens where you're going from colonial marines. I think they're colonial marines. I think that's what they call themselves. But
Yeah,
marines.
Colonial Marines, yeah.
Yeah, it's colonial marines. I'm like, did I just
Yep.
colonize fucking aliens? like, yeah, we're gonna colonize this planet, bitch, and then game over at the end. But
There's
like,
too many precious resources in here.
Yeah.
right, like we're gonna send a
Yeah,
whole bunch of
nice.
colonists and so forth to an alien planet and just get fucked by aliens. Literally, get mouth fucked by aliens. But no, this is a movie that honestly is like it's part of a franchise that you can just turn your brain off, enjoy. And coming from the Alien series, this seems like this is going by trailers. This is a movie where you can just kind of turn your brain off and go back to and kind of relive the Alien days. Like, Alien was I think that's masterpiece. I think that's masterpiece in
Mhm.
horror,
Mhm. Mhm.
slow roll and so forth.
Mhm.
And then you have Aliens where it kind of kicks it up to action, where it's still horror to an extent, but it's action with
Mhm.
the Colonial Marines coming in and kicking ass. And I think Bandito Mac was saying like this is kind of a weird situation because the Colonial Marines, you're like, yeah, guns blazing, like you're expecting to see action. This is
Mhm.
literally 80s type movie genre at this time, thinking like Terminator and whatnot, and Terminator 2 and Terminator 3, type of action. And then you go to this where you're just like, oh man, we're kids in the park. And man, holy shit, there's an alien here. And they just get fucking destroyed by an alien. So I was like, you kind of have to just know what the genre of what you're getting into. And I feel like I'm going to this movie with my brain turned off
Mhm.
and going
Good.
back to Alien 2, Alien, Aliens, and I don't know about Aliens 3, but I
Look,
see Aliens 4.
if you're in the ballpark, you're not gonna be like disappointed. If you're in the
Yeah.
Yeah,
ballpark, like
It's like, just give me an alien movie. That's all. That's all it
this
is.
is unmistakably aliens. It's just just speaking of aliens, I
Mhm.
wish this had more scariness to it. There was really no
but
there was no I personally didn't feel any dread, and there wasn't like this presence of this fucking creature stalking,
Okay.
I mean,
like
it
like
was
Alien.
stalking. It was part of the script.
Yeah.
It was part of the storyline, but
Yeah.
it just didn't have that sense of dread that Aliens also had.
Sure.
I just wish it
I
had
get
more horror to it, then I would have been a little happier with it. It was like very tipped towards action, excitement,
Yeah.
more than it was tipped towards horror.
Here's the thing that we often like forget, and just because of our nature of our podcast, and we're all, older guys, this could be someone's first Alien movie, right? Some
Oh,
generation of kids, and it is. And I think if that is the case, this is a good entry point for someone to. It gives you a taste of the better part of the franchise, and hopefully they can look into like the hits where it comes from. But I think in terms of that, in terms of something that's a sequel from a movie from 1979, it's pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? In that
Sure.
context,
It would. I mean, a 1979 paced movie would not
work. No.
do well today. People would
Well,
just walk out of the theater.
Well, I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that.
I watched
The
Alien.
pacing of those old movies
Yeah,
in a theater.
I watched Alien right after I watched Aliens Romulus. Like I came home and then I was in the mood, so I watched Alien. And yeah, the Alien. They do that classic trick where they keep it in the shadows and they don't have it move around. But when it does move, it is a little like it's not as and it's like the lighting of the movie. You know what I mean? I don't think. Yeah, there's something about it.
It's the ambiance of the movie. It's the environment.
And he's right. It's a pace. There's a way slower pace in Aliens.
Yes. Well,
and
that's new.
Modern audience might not have the patience for that.
But I see the reason I disagree with that is because yes, while I believe I don't think the pacing is the issue. I think it's also the special effects. I think it is like what you were saying before. The alien didn't really come out into like literally the very end of the movie. You really didn't get to see all the alien. You didn't get to see a lot of the background. You didn't get to see the alien itself until like I said in like fast glimpses. And I think the difference would be is now the pacing. I think might be okay. I think what it will be a little. I think it will still work with today's audiences. It would just be the cinematography and how you portray the alien. You have to reward the payoff. That payoff back in the 70s and 80s or in the 80s was a lot better for its time. Or it was indicative of its time. I think now the only thing is you would have to when you finally give the payoff to the audience, it has to be done well. That's the thing. I think that. Go ahead.
I think there's more like consistent. Like you're right. Like I mean, back then the payoff was a big deal because like you had to keep it hidden. You had to and it was the payoff would be that big deal. But now with
it was easier to keep it hidden too.
It was easier to keep it hidden, and the expectation from the audience wasn't like they want to see like bang zoom aliens like flinging all over the place. It was this special thing, right? So now though, but the audience has a certain expectation. They want to because this movie's going to be shown at home in fucking HDR, so you're going to see the bits and grooves and everything on the alien and all the dripping things. So like there's this like now you want more attention and detail on the stuff that in 79 they were like, no, keep it in the shadows. And they made all the right decisions, then. But I think audience behavior and what their desires are, what they want to see is they want to see more. You just have to find the sweet spot in what the more is.
Yes,
and
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like the payoff to see the monster has to be a lot more convincing. You have to be there's more attention to detail. And I agree to that. I believe you're 100% right. Like they had to hide it, right? Because it was just a motherfucker in a suit. And like they had a nice costume, but they couldn't show the full alien. They had to be strategic because I mean they didn't have as costume design wise, it wasn't as advanced as it is today. So, I wouldn't mind. See, the thing is, it's like I wish we could go back to the days. I wish we can like relive Aliens, or Alien back in today's time, or taking that in today's time and reliving that experience of the slow burn because you don't have a lot of movies that have too much of a slow burn. Like a good example, and this is a perfect example of a slow burn, was like Hereditary, right? Hereditary
Mm-hmm.
was a slow burn throughout the movie. Like you got the big,
Mm-hmm.
oh, the sister's head gets knocked off on the light pole, right? You got those big
Mm-hmm.
things, but the small drip was you would see what was it Amen the king of one of the kings of hell,
Payment.
uh Payman, yeah, Payman. One of
Payment,
the
yeah.
is it Payman or Amen? Oh, but you know what I'm saying. Like
Payment, yeah.
yeah, you'll see little instances like the light little circle that will come into and then like affect the guy's body and so forth. But you didn't really get the big payoff until like really the end, where you start seeing the real freaky shit with the mother being possessed and everything else, and the father catching on fire and shit. Like that was literally
That
like the
movie
last.
was. I love that movie.
Right, but it was a slow burn, right?
But
Overall.
yeah, no, I agree. But I'm just saying, like, that's you're highlighting like the exception to the rule, right? So like that, The Witch, what's the one with the tower and the watchtower and the people are the lighthouse.
Lighthouse, yeah.
All those movies are like finely crafted, slow burn movies where people already know what they're going to see. But if you're going to see a franchise like Aliens or Jurassic Park or Terminator or whatever, other franchise they want to bring back, they're not as likely gonna take the risk of doing like a slow, like methodical movie. And then Ari Aster, there's everything that they do is like unique, right? It's
Yes.
like a new creation, new invention, so he has more leeway to do what they want with their characters. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure like same thing. There's people like your average moviegoer where if you take him to see maybe Hereditary, they would be bored except for like the scenes of like extreme violence, right?
Right.
But you're right. The pacing of that movie was phenomenal.
Right. Well,
But yeah, there is room for slow paced movies. It's a harder sell, especially with franchises.
well, yeah. See, okay, I see. That's where I didn't know that's what you were talking about. For a franchise where you've already established aliens exist, where you have Alien Resurrection, you got full ass aliens swimming through fucking cafeterias underwater and shit. Like,
Hell yeah.
yeah, like at that point, yeah, you kind of especially for audiences that remember that, yeah, it's hard to revert back from going from horror to horror action to back to slow burn again. And it's hard to do. And that's what I feel like that's what reboots can do, right? Now with Aliens, they're not
Yeah.
going to do a reboot because at this point, it's probably better to keep along with the Prometheus storyline. Because like because Alien Romulus, from what I understood from the timeline, it's in between, I think, Aliens and like Aliens
One
3 or
and
something.
two.
Or
It's
one is it
between
1 and
one
Oh,
2?
and
this
two.
is between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's the actual ship? Is that the
No,
actual mining ship from the first movie?
no, the
Oh,
Nostromo,
okay.
no.
Yeah, okay.
No, but they show you the wreckage of the Nostromo
Nostromo.
in the beginning of this movie. That's where they recover that alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I knew this was between two. I thought it was 2 and 3, but 1 and 2. So it's hard to reboot a series like this. So it's like I get it. And granted, I agree with you 100%. It's once you get people expectations out there, it's hard to take it back, right? And they kind of did that with like Saw. Like Saw is a good example, right? They kind of busted, after the first one, then they started busting their loads on all this action and so forth, and then it's hard to put the genie
Yeah.
back in the bottle to relive that first movie's experience, and they tried to recapture that, and it's really hard to do. I think it can be done. I think there is a risk, and you're 100% right with the movie studio. That's a huge risk for them to do. Will they ever do it? I hope so. I would love an Aliens remake. Not actual,
I
not
would
like a.
love again.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, just like we were saying with Star Wars, I would love for them, and like Darkseid said already. Unfortunately, they tried it with Prometheus, which I really liked and thought it was interesting, but
Right.
it just,
Yeah.
I guess people didn't like it.
I don't
It must
think
have bombed or something, but
Yeah, I don't think we'll get a remake, and this movie really goes to like for me to solidify that idea that they don't really need to
They don't need a
remake it because
remake.
they've Prometheus is the deepest dive we've ever gotten into this universe, right?
Yes.
And we got burned on it. But there is one of the things I loved about this movie, and I actually forgot to mention something else here, is the Weyland-Yutani conspiracy that has existed in all the movies. This movie leans into that heavily, and there is and I put it in our chat, there's a Alien TV show coming from FX, and the first trailer just came out. That movie is going to take place also early on, and I think it has to deal more with that Weyland-Yutani conspiracy and what they've been trying to achieve since Prometheus, and what they've been doing every single time, trying to, basically acquire a xenomorph and the technology of the Prometheus files and stuff like that. So I think in terms of like, does it need a reboot? No, because we haven't really gone far enough in order to reboot a franchise. You know what I mean? We keep scratching this alien eggs facehugger, alien eggs face, and that's what. Here's the thing: those are the hits.
That's what sells.
But there's a lot of really good lore underneath that, and like I said, this movie hinted on it, that lore, and I hope this TV show expands that lore a little more, because that's one of the things I loved about Prometheus. Lore that
would have been. I feel like that would have been more interesting if this movie would have leaned more into like Andy. I feel like if the story, but then I understand like the problem at that point would be that the aliens are now not the focus, but I felt
Andy
like
was interesting.
Some of the he had some of the most tense scenes, right? Like when he got that AI chip upgraded, that was fucking tense when he started chasing them out. He's like, "Yo, I got to do what's right for the people." So it's
when that pregnant lady was dying and he was just there, obviously emotionless because he's just an android, and everyone else is like crying and everything. He's just like stone face, watching this woman get killed.
Right. So I feel like the movie would have. Go ahead.
Real quick, I was just gonna say the best, like, in that world of horror, and like you said, aliens are important to that, but these androids are also important. I was gonna say, like, David is still one of the best villains in the Alien franchise. Like
horrifying.
He's horrifying.
He is the most human, basically. Android is the most terrifying one.
He's more terrifying than the xenomorphs at certain points, right? So like they have some really cool, and like leaning into the Weyland, like, what is the purpose of these androids? And like, once you understand what David is and what David was made for, and like, and the part he played in the alien lore, to the xenomorphs we got, just gives you more of this, like, what is the program of these androids that are being created with Weyland's original intentions, and it just there's a lot of cool places this franchise can go, and they barely scratched it.
That's what I also wanted to know, like the mission at the end, like what I didn't know what he had wanted him to complete the mission for. Like I wanted to know I wanted to know all that. That's the shit I wanted to know, but the movie couldn't.
Like the cure that they were just talking about, which made sense. Yeah, obviously they want to enhance the genes of humans to make us more
hospitable to space,
more hospitable to space travel. All that shit was cool, but again, it was just glossed over in like 30 seconds, 10 seconds worth of movie.
You're right.
Well, to be fair, and this is, I agree with all of you. I honestly wish the aliens lore was fleshed out a lot more, right? Looking at between aliens and Predator, right? Like the interactions that they have, it almost became a thing of, we have two monsters that people love. We don't have a story for them. Like, we're thinking about the original, like, Ridley Scott series, right? We have two monsters that people love. Let's just put them together and fight them. And it's like, as a teen or as a kid, I'm like, fuck yeah, busting big nuts on this shit. Like, love this. This can't get any fucking better. Now we're at a point. Yeah, this is the coolest thing ever. This is like the equivalent of like an X-Men, and I don't know, Marvel. Or X-Men, or not an X-Men, a Marvel and DC team up. Like, the craziest shit.
You mean Amalgam Comics?
Amalgam.
Sure.
Comic book series ever.
Yeah. But
Dark
like,
Claw, baby.
Yeah, but we have gotten that in, with aliens going and Predator versus
Yeah,
Batman and shit. We've gotten these
yeah.
things, which are
It
really
did,
cool,
did
but we don't
didn't
ever
it,
have. Oh, go ahead.
didn't in one of the movies wasn't there a alien that pops out of a predator, like has predator and
Yes,
alien
Yes.
combination?
AVP,
Yes.
AVP,
In the
and then
AVP?
That was
Oh,
like the ultimate.
it's
Yeah.
the
that
ultimate
went
fuck
to
fest.
yeah.
Mm.
But the thing is that at the end, and that's how we got Requiem. And Requiem, honestly, there's some really cool parts in Requiem. I mean, I know that's a kind of a straight to DVD type movie.
Yeah,
Um,
people hate it.
yeah, people hate it, but there are some really cool parts in it.
Mm.
But the thing is that we have not gotten a concise lore of aliens. The closest we got was, like you said, Darkseid, was Prometheus. And I
Mhm.
fucking love Prometheus. I think anybody who truly loved the Alien series, I think majority of fans did love it. Outside viewers, sure, it kind of threw them off. But as you
Yeah.
said, it switched from aliens being the bad guys or aliens being the enemies to now the creators being the kind of the enemies, and then switching to the android. So we humans became the creators, and now
Our creation is
our
trying to
creations
kill
trying to kill us.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, and with the creators, we were becoming a threat to a point where they want to wipe us out. This is because we were evolving and becoming a threat ourselves. So there are so many things that it could turn out. I wish they would do that. And the reason, and like the reboot thing I was talking about earlier, it wasn't like I don't want a new Ripley, right? I'm not saying like make a new Ripley, this, that, and the other. Well, I'm saying reboot the series as far as let's go back to those original movies and flesh them out and reboot them in the sense of all right, we might have aliens, kind of like what Romulus did between Aliens 1 and Aliens, or Alien and Aliens. We got Romulus. Now, kind of flesh out these stories a little bit more so that we can have a more concise story and eventually the Alien series to end. Not end in the sense that, I mean, because I feel like aliens can last forever, but end to a point where the viewers like us who have been watching aliens since its inception, we can actually get a good resolution and have a complete story. Because right now, I just feel like there's some executives be like, "Oh, well, fuck it, it's been 5 years. Let's just make an alien movie. Oh, what are we doing? I don't know. There's a random egg, and it."
God bless those executives, though. You know what? God bless them.
Yeah, I'm just
Hey,
saying.
every 5 years, just scratch the itch. You know what I mean? Fucking, I don't mind. Fucking, like, just don't resurrection me. You know what I mean? Like, if you maybe one day we'll get the what's the one, the Dream Project that never happened, the District 9
Oh my
Blomkamp's alien
God.
movie.
Oh
He
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
Blum's
yeah.
he was supposed to do an
You
alien
know the
movie. That
reason
would have
he
been
left,
Crim
which
Dream.
obviously was never gonna happen. Creative
Yeah.
differences. Because
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
getting meddling way too much, and he was like, "Fuck this! I'm not gonna do it if
Yeah.
I can't have my vision on screen." Oh, or remember the other one, the original concept for Alien 3, where it's
Yeah.
gonna be a planet made out of wood or
Wood,
something that was like a
yeah.
spaceship with monks
No,
in it.
it's a
I don't remember
monastery.
that.
It was a
Yeah, it's a
monastery.
monastery. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
That
didn't know
was the
that.
original plans for Alien 3.
That's pretty cool.
I like Alien 3. Well, again, another Alien 3 is a slow burn movie, but
It is
fucking
a slow burn.
Dave Fincher, it's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Mm.
I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah. But totally different tone than the first two. That's
It
what
was.
Aliens is.
Yeah.
Each alien has been a different tone. That's why I'm saying like
Different tone. Yeah.
the movie has changed. The series has changed over time, and it seems like they're going backwards now, which is good. I kind of think that's a good. But Prometheus kind of built now that backwards has allowed us to go back, and I think that they know what the fans want. So hopefully we get back to that, but we'll see what happens. But all
Okay.
right. All right. That's
Alrighty.
Alien Romulus. So, once again, if you haven't seen it, I would recommend seeing it. I haven't seen it. I will see it even after watching this episode. It should be a good time. So, for I don't know what we're going to be viewing for next week, but keep your ears peeled, and your eyes open. I don't know. You'll just find out. You'll find out probably when we find out on the next episode. But
Yep.
until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we are
Man.
out. Blur you later. Oh, let me go through the
Where
spiel.
you
Did I not go through the spiel? Like, yeah, you guys can catch us on all major platforms,
Oh
including
yeah.
twitch.tv/ the Blurred
Nobody
Podcast.
cares.
No one cares. Or YouTube, the Blurred Podcast. Catch
Blur
us.
you later.
Yeah, blur you guys later.
Blur you later,
All
you
right.
bitches.